Hi, welcome to RNS Podcast. My name's Evan. Who am I with?
My name's Dylan.
That's the first and only time I'll ever start an episode. Unless, like, you take a leave of absence or something, then I'll be like, okay, whoever the substitute co-host is, I'll be like, no, you can't start the episode. Obviously, I'll have to start it.
Yeah, they don't deserve it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it's like if you had the president of the United States and the vice president, and then like you just let the secretary of the treasury like jump to president, over the vice president, or whatever. But anyways, welcome to RNS Podcast.
But I'm not the vice president. Don't imply that.
Well, you can be the vice president, but
I'm the Ministry of Truth.
But during Bush.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah. I like that.
So I'm the figurehead, but you're really controlling this. Anyways, welcome to RNS Podcast. We're gonna talk about classic cult indie film. Buffalo 66.
Buffalo 66.
Vincent Gallo. Very interesting story, very interesting stuff. Blacklisted from Hollywood. Very interesting character. Before we get into all that, though, Evan,
yes,
I would like to ask you all, please leave a like.
Please
subscribe. Please stick around. This is gonna be a drama, a juicy episode.
It will be.
We're gonna get into the drama of Vincent Gallo and what he gets down with and what he does. I'm hoping that Evan knows that stuff because I don't. And we're gonna talk about the movie, of course, as well.
Of course.
But Evan, before we get into Buffalo 66, was there not something that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, we both saw The Northman.
Oh, we did see The Northman.
I liked it. It was a good movie.
I thought it was pretty good.
It was a fun Shakespearean time.
Yeah, that's it's accurate. For those of you that don't know as well, shout out to my friend and mentor, Grace Randolph.
Oh yes.
No, I don't know her in any way. I just watch her videos just for.
She's a friend.
I'm not claiming that. She's not a friend. But yeah, I was watching a Grace Randolph video and she was like, "Oh, this is based on the guy who they Shakespeare based Hamlet on," which was interesting. And then also, like Lion King is based on Hamlet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like fucked up Viking Lion King.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So if you've seen Lion King, you pretty much know almost exactly what to expect. I would say, it's a bit juicier than Lion King, I guess you could say. A bit more graphic.
Yeah, I was just like rated R.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, but it's basically that story of betrayal and revenge.
Revenge, yeah. I liked it. All the acting was really good. I thought it looked great. Good set pieces, you may say. Some good set pieces.
Yeah.
Shout out to John Campia. No, in his review of the movie,
in the first 3 minutes we name dropped Grace
and John Campia. Yeah, in his review, no, I thought this was a really good part of the movie though. He mentioned how the movie looks really dark.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, obviously they didn't have like
electricity.
Yeah, And it's like, oh, well, shout out to Robert Eggers. It looked like he actually used like, I don't know if he did or not, but like he made the lighting look very naturalistic.
Yeah.
And I really like that a lot. Like especially at night, when it's like there's that one particular scene where he's like fighting the skeleton warrior who's holding the sword.
Yeah.
And it's like only lit by like the moonlight coming in.
It was in like the tomb.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's also the moonlight is a bigger part of that scene. But yeah, that looked really great. And then there's like when he climbs on top of the
hill.
Not the hill.
It's like the roof, the grassy roof.
They're like in the barn or whatever, the slaves.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not that scene, but there's another scene where you see him climbing on top of like one of those houses or whatever you want to call them, and it looks really good. It's like just like only like the moon's lighting, and it looks really, really good.
It's really cool, and I bet I wouldn't know the logistics of it, but I think it was it probably took a lot of doing, probably a lot of effort because there's a lot of movies that cheap out on shit like that where it's like, this seems like it takes place at night, but it's clearly lit by a bunch of
exactly
real light bulbs and shit. So like fucking in like a Fox like X-Men movie, there's tons of scenes in the woods at night or whatever, or like Twilight or something, and it's clearly just like not night or like with a filter, or it's like night with a bunch of not like unnatural lighting and shit. So it probably was very hard.
Yeah.
And whatever he did to achieve that, it looks great.
Yeah, I agree. And I know the movie has already been compared to The Revenant. We were talking about that the other night.
Oh yeah.
After we saw it. But that movie also, same thing. Like the director, he only used natural lighting for that movie, and it looks well. I wouldn't say it looks similar because the settings are very different, but
similar effects.
In that way. Yeah. Yeah. They do have similar stories though, kind of, just like Revenge story set in the past.
I wonder if we'll talk about anything like that in this episode later.
Oh, maybe.
About today's topic.
Possibly.
But yeah, Northman. What do you give the Northman out of 11?
Out of 11, that's too hard. I have to do math because I know my classic out of 10, I would give it an 8. But it's out of 11, what's gonna be a 7 point something or 8 point? No, it'll go up. Yeah, 8 point something. I'm sorry, I suck at math.
Clearly,
8.5. Yeah,
you do suck at math.
8.5 out of 11.
Dylan's a genius. No, so you really liked it?
Yeah, I did. I liked it a lot.
A 3 out of 3 stars.
Oh, really? You would say you loved it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't give it a 2.
Yeah.
So 3. Yeah.
No, I wasn't expecting you to give it a 3 out of 3.
My classic 3 out of 3.
It was good. It was good, and all the action was really good. I want to say that too. It wasn't overly graphic or anything. It was actually less violent than I expected, but those graphic moments, they hit.
There's a few pretty visceral, violent moments, but outside of maybe 2 or 3 moments of violence, and there's some implied stuff that's pretty graphic.
Yeah.
But it's fairly tame. I could have sat through it when I was a kid, which is saying something for me.
Well, I was gonna say I feel like I've been watching violent movies since I was a little kid.
Yeah, I wasn't.
So it's
yeah, you can't really use that barometer. But for me, I was kind of squeamish when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I could barely stomach Sweeney Todd. So
the Demon Barber, the classic Demon Barber.
The Demon Barber of Fleet Street, exactly.
I wonder if Johnny Depp is relevant right now.
No, I don't think so. I actually don't think there's anything to say about Johnny Depp now. So, but yeah, good movie.
I haven't seen Sweeney Todd.
But I remember in the John Campea video, it's very...
I didn't see it.
Cartoony violence.
Oh.
Anyways, the reason I brought that up, too, because I remember someone on the John Campea show, because we both watch... Mm-hmm. I rarely watch John Campea. You watch John Campea quite a bit, and so does Andy, our friend Andy.
I had to say though, I do hate watching John Campea, but I do watch him though. I am a viewer.
I know, semi recently you were saying oh, I wish there was more people like him though.
Yeah, because I do like the format of his show. It's just the personalities annoy me.
You watch it for the format and the consistent information and content.
Yeah,
but not the personalities.
Yeah.
But
I do like you. I do like Rob though. So shout out to Rob.
Cool.
Yeah.
Rob's cool.
And Ray has a charm.
Yeah, he does. He certainly does. What was I saying?
Actually, I think the only ones I don't really like at all are John and Aaron. I like Chris too. I like Chris also. So John and Aaron, I think, are the only ones I'm I don't really like them.
John does say some pretty base stuff sometimes, every once in a while. Not to say base, but base sometimes.
I guess so.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
There was something you said recently where you said something good about Disney, maybe.
I suppress out anything good he says. I just block it out of my memory.
That's true. But I was saying on the show, on the John Campea show, that someone was asking oh, can my kids see it? Or
what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know how old the kid was because I keep up with that stuff. No, what I was saying too is you watch him all the time, but I only check out every once. If you send me a specific clip or if something very specific catches my attention. But for the Northman, I was let's see what this dunderhead has to say about the Northman. So I clicked. I did watch that one, and yeah. So for my cool answer to that John Campea show question, I would say that, maybe a 10-plus-year-old could probably handle it.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
I think so.
Who asked that question?
I don't know.
Oh, well.
They were talking about their kid by name. What was it, Ray? Ray doesn't have a kid.
No, he don't got a kid.
Someone I asked. I don't know.
Well, whoever it is, yeah. Take your small child to go see this movie.
Yeah, take your little baby. Don't matter.
Actually, no, I wouldn't recommend a kid. I mean, I don't know, it's hard to say. Because for me, it's as a kid, I probably would have, I wouldn't have given a shit. I would have watched it. But I don't know if I would say, oh, yeah, you should take your kid to see this. I don't know if I can approve of that.
But I think...
Don't do as I do.
If your kid's mature, I would say take them. Because it's a historical movie and, multiple... because it's, this is the guy that they based Hamlet on.
Yeah.
And it's also an actual literal historical figure. Not that it's 100% real, the movie, or true to life, but it's based on a historical figure who influenced a historical literature and.
That's true. Yeah, and I heard people say oh, this is actually kind of historically accurate when it comes to Vikings and stuff, how it's depicted. So yeah, for that, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, see, they express an interest.
But I was thinking certain stuff. Spoiler alert! I'm just gonna go into spoilers. But I think the ending, where he kills his mother and then kills the small child. I'm I don't know. Should you take a kid to see that? I don't fucking know.
Well, they did attack him.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Anyways, that's up to your own discretion. Fucking go watch the movie first if you want to take your child. I don't know. Fuck you. Okay. Do we have any other cool topics
I don't have any. Do you, don't?
Um.
Ezra Miller got arrested again.
So we're gonna skip right past that, and no, but he's fired.
Yeah, I agree.
No, it was funny because the first time he choked that poor woman.
Mm-hmm. They swept it under the rug.
Well, they did, but I wanted to say, I remember when I found that story, I immediately sent it to my friend Brandon, and we're both like DC fans. You know, we're pretty big DC fans.
Shout out to Brandon.
Shout out Brandon. Love you, Brandon, if you're listening. If you're not listening, I still love you. Guess what? Still love you.
Good friend.
Anyways, yeah. When I saw that story, I immediately sent him the Ezra Miller like choked that one woman in the bar, and I was like, he's fired. Like he's not the Flash anymore, Brandon. And I remember that very distinctly, but yeah, nothing happened as a result of that.
Yeah.
And then now he's been arrested 2 more times.
Yeah.
And it's been such a public story that I feel like
I feel like this time it was bigger than the very first time he did it.
Yeah, I think he's done.
Yeah. Bye, Ezra.
Bye, Ezra. Bye, Felicia.
And on top of that, the new Fantastic Beasts, it didn't flop, but it didn't do very good.
Did it not flop?
I don't think I think it's gonna make its money back and probably some profit, but it's not doing good. Oh. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think they're gonna make another one.
I hope not.
Yeah, probably not. And then, I don't think that was Ezra's fault. We're probably gonna not do very good either way, but they can kind of someone maybe pin that on him a little bit. You know what I mean?
Certainly didn't help.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck Ezra and fuck the Northman.
And there's that guy in the Northman. Not fuck the Northman. That's a good movie. But his cousin in the Northman. We were saying it. We both thought during the movie that he looked like Ezra Miller, the actor who playing.
He does look like him. Or it's not his cousin, is it?
It is his cousin because it's his uncle's son.
Oh, but it's also his half brother.
His half brother? No. The younger one is his half brother. The older one was a different mother.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Evan paid gooder attention than I did, I guess.
Because you see them as a baby at the very beginning, before he even killed Ethan Hawke.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, go see the Northman. Don't talk about Ezra Miller no more. And yeah, you want to get into Buffalo 66?
That is weird though. That the younger one is his half brother and his cousin. That kind of disturbing.
Well, yeah. It's like as incestuous as they could get, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Well, he does kiss his father. Spoiler alert.
But yeah. There's hints. Hints of incest that's weird. In there, which is awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, Buffalo 66. Before we get into the meat of it, and before we maybe talk about Vincent Gallo a little bit before getting into the meat of the movie, Dylan, do you want to tell me your raw reaction to this movie? Because this is your first time seeing it.
I do want to tell you.
Yeah, I've seen it 5 or 6 times. One of those 5 or 6 times. But this was Dylan's first time, so what did you think? You gonna tell me?
It was good.
Oh.
No, I enjoyed it. I'm curious though. What was the first time you saw it?
I was either in middle or high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was either late middle school or early high school.
Okay. And is your thoughts on the movie still the same? Have they changed over time at all, or the same?
I would say I appreciate it more now than I did. Back then, I was like, oh yeah, that was a pretty good movie. And I saw it again a few years later. I was like, oh yeah, I really like this. So yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know if I was. Well, I mean, I really liked it the first time I saw it too. But I think I have more to say about it now than I did then.
You have more life experience.
I guess.
Kind of maybe relate to it or understand it a bit more, perhaps.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was good, and it was good. I don't know what else as a raw reaction that I can say.
No, yeah.
It was kind of. Well, I guess maybe we'll get into that later. I don't know. But yeah, 3 out of 3 stars.
3 out of 3 stars.
I give it 3 out of 3 stars. How many stars out of stars do you give it?
I would give it a 10 out of 10. 3 out of 3.
Good for you.
Yeah, I would give it that 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Great film.
Sweet. It's
it's one of my favorites, I would say.
It's a lot like Taxi Driver.
Is it? It's funny you bring that up. I remember I saw a tweet a while ago. It had side by side shots from Taxi Driver and from Buffalo 66, and they have some very similar shots. So I don't know if I would say they're similar in story, maybe in themes.
Yeah.
And then how it's shot maybe a little bit, I'll have to show you that tweet.
Definitely
I'll show you
Definitely not really in story. But
yeah.
Like it's like this antisocial guy.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
like has this weird little romantic encounter.
Yeah. Definitely not dark as Taxi Driver. It's a bit more fairy tale-esque, you may say.
I don't know about fairy tale.
Maybe happier.
Yeah.
Has a happier ending for sure.
I was gonna say like it's kind of like.
Well, I would say fairy tale-esque in ways, which we can get into a little bit. But yeah.
I don't know what the fuck you're gonna say about that, but
we'll get into
it. We'll find out. Well, what do you want to talk about first, Evan? Do you want to talk about Vincent Gallo?
That seems like a good way to start.
You want to talk about the director?
Yeah. Sorry, I had to take a sip of my water.
Oh, well, that's
so,
okay. I forgive you.
This was, of course, directed and starring. It also stars.
Yeah.
written.
So, in the middle of the movie, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching. Like, I mean, like the movie's not confusing or anything, but I was like, I don't know anything about these fucking people. Like, I kind of know this is Christina Ricci, who's Wednesday Addams. It's kind of all I know. Oh, can I tell the truth? I googled. So the first thing I googled was Buffalo 66, and then I was like, oh, the director's Billy, the main actor.
Yeah.
The main character. It's like, oh, I didn't know that. But yeah, I did a little bit of research I wanted to find out, and I didn't realize too that because you mentioned Vincent Gallo before, and I didn't realize he only has 2 movies.
Yeah, that he directed.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So the Brown Bunny and this Buffalo 66.
Yeah.
And this movie was 98. Brown Bunny was when, like 2001.
2003, I think.
2003.
Yeah. Brown Bunny, also a very good movie.
So I hear.
Yeah. Well, I like it. Well, a lot of people shit on it.
So I hear.
It's very controversial.
Well, yeah. Vincent Gallo thanked you himself personally.
Yeah.
Did he not?
Oh, he did. Yeah. I'll get that out of the way. I do have a signed copy of the Brown Bunny on Blu-ray, signed by Vincent Gallo.
Badass.
I do. Yeah. And I sent him a picture of it on Instagram, and he said thank you for purchasing, because it was like didn't have another release for a really long time, and then I forgot who it was who distributed the Blu-ray, but they only had a set amount of copies, and they were all signed by Vincent Gallo, and I got one, and then I sent him a picture, I sent him a DM on Instagram with it, and I was like, oh, I bought a copy, and he said thank you for purchasing the Brown Bunny Blu-ray. So thank you, Vincent Gallo.
So yeah, thank you, Vincent Gallo. Please watch this episode. We're gonna send it to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vincent Gallo, just in general though, very controversial filmmaker. Like I was saying,
controversial figure.
Yeah. We can't put him in a bubble.
No, we would never put him in a box. No.
Like I was saying, he wrote this movie, stars in it, directs it. He did the music for it as well.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. A bit of a Renaissance man, you say.
Oh.
He kind of has like a cult-like following, I guess you could say, because he's just a very interesting guy.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of done it all. So like in the 80s, he was a musician and a painter. I don't know, for any of you familiar with Basquiat, he was friends with Basquiat. He was like a famous painter.
Friends with the Ramones guy?
Yeah, Johnny Ramone.
Johnny Ramone.
Yeah. And then he kind of transitioned from that scene, from like music. He still made music later, which I'll get into, but from like the whole painting thing, he gave that up, and then he started acting in movies, and then eventually he started.
And he did modeling.
Yeah, he did. He's a model as well.
He was a motorcycle racer.
Yeah, and he was a motorcycle racer as well. Yeah, which is a part of the Brown Bunny actually. Because he does the racing. Yeah, you get to see him racing a little bit in it. So yeah, he's very interesting. He's done a lot of different things.
Nutty guy.
Yeah, very nutty guy. He's also really good at bowling, as we see in Buffalo 66.
To use his cool skill set.
So yeah, he's just very good at a lot of different things. But like we were saying, very controversial. He's known for speaking his mind. I showed Dylan the Howard Stern interview he has.
Yeah, we watched a weird British C-SPAN video.
Yeah, it's him like talking to the critics.
It was like what is that called? Like public television or public access television?
I don't know what it was. I guess it's just some kind of British.
It looked like a public access show, but maybe it was just like
I don't think it was public access.
Some British talk show.
Because they had kind of
famous critics.
Yeah, from like bigger trades. I don't remember. It was like Village Voice and shit like that. They had show. It was some kind of film show or whatever from the late 90s in the UK. But he was on it, and yeah, he was just kind of like debating with the critics, I guess you could say, about the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they were really debating, but.
Well, I don't know what to call it. They were conversing.
Yeah. It wasn't super...
They were sharing ideas.
Yeah, it was the free... What do they call it? The free trade of ideas?
Yeah,
But anyways, yeah, that was a good video.
Yeah.
That was very interesting. We also watched, like you said, the Howard Stern.
Yeah. And then, like I was saying, he's kind of known for speaking his mind. Howard kind of going through a list of, like, all the shit Vincent Gallo has spoken about, like, other filmmakers, other actors, people in Hollywood. And Howard said to himself, like, oh, you're known for being a vocal critic of your own industry.
Yeah.
And yeah, he is. He talks shit about, like, everybody, especially, like, a lot of people who came from the similar scene as him, like Tarantino, Spike Jonze, Sofia Coppola, like, all the people he completely shit on.
What do you say about Sofia Coppola?
Oh, I think he said, like, that she's a pig, like her father. And her father is, of course, famous, like, Francis Ford Coppola, one of the famous directors, but he said they were both pigs. Which is funny because he starred in a Coppola movie, fucking Tetro. So, yeah, I don't know. He just talks shit. He said he talks shit about Martin Scorsese. Pretty much, like most anybody you can think of, you can probably, like, just completely shit on them.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's why I wanted to mention that off the top.
Yeah.
Because I find that stuff fascinating. And also...
Me too. I like that he wouldn't just say whatever the fuck he wants. But, of course, well, as a result, I don't think anybody wanted to work with him.
That's what I was going to say. Like, we'll get into him being blacklisted, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
well, he's known for completely shitting on his like, Christina Ricci and him both had, like, they beefed after Buffalo 66.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to mention that off the top to get people, like, interested maybe, because, like, I find that stuff fascinating, and it doesn't happen very often for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Because he's now not in the industry.
Yeah. But it's also some self-exile, because I was mentioning to you, he has a third movie he made called Promises Written in Water, which premiered at a film festival. I don't remember which one it was. I don't think it was Cannes, maybe, like, Toronto or something like that. But anyways, he does have a third film he made. And then he just never released it after that because he was like, yeah, I don't want the world to, like, see my art or whatever. It was some shit like that. But shout out to you, Vincent. I love your movies. Buffalo 66 and great. I love Brown Bunny. I'm glad that you're not afraid to speak your mind. Like, even with his... I do think some of it is him just trying to be shocking, I'll be honest. Especially with, like... So he's also known to be a very, on the right wing, I guess you could say. Which is not, obviously, going with Hollywood's vibe at all.
That's another thing, too. Because he talks a lot of shit, and he's also not the right political... Like, what they expect you to be in
exactly,
Hollywood.
Yeah. He's known for being kind of a heavy right-winger. But like I said... I've never been, like, completely sure if he actually is genuinely a right-winger or not. Because, I don't know, just the scenes he was involved with, like, 80s, like, the art scene and, like, people like Basquiat and things like that, it makes me, like, hard to believe, like, is it genuinely what you believe, or are you just doing it just to go against the industry? You know what I mean?
I understand why you wouldn't believe it, and also you know more about him than I do. But maybe it's kind of hard to believe because that's all you see.
Yeah.
Like, not to be a, black-pilled, what I don't know what to call it. but, they don't let you see that. Like, they don't let right-wing people have a platform in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when you do see someone, it's like, oh, well, maybe it's fake. I don't know.
Yeah.
You never see it.
Yeah, that might be part of it, yeah. And also, I think part of the reason he maybe takes that stance also is and respect to him for this, he's also not really, like, someone who made it into the industry through nepotism. Yeah. Because, like, as you see, well, I'm sure you know, but Buffalo 66 is, like, semi-autobiographical.
Oh, autobiographical.
Yeah. And he's not someone who, like, comes from money.
Well, yeah, he was mentioning in the Howard Stern episode, like, he was like, I'm from Buffalo, there's fucking nothing there, I hate Buffalo. He was like, fuck everyone in Buffalo.
Yeah, he's genuinely self-made. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's not like someone like Spike Jonze who grew up rich. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or like Sofia Coppola, for example, who came from that family.
A lot of people in Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe, I feel like that's part of the reason. I don't know, what do you think?
Part of the reason what?
That he kind of leans more towards that way, because especially like the self-made thing, that usually kind of leans with right wing, at least economically. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see
so that. I don't know.
Well,
I thought that before.
I've seen something else in the Howard Stern.
And I respect that, though, being, getting in through your hard work, because he's genuinely very talented.
What did he call communist in the
he called it wasn't in the Howard Stern, it was in the critics one.
Oh, okay.
He called the Tim Robbins movie Dead Man Walking. He called it a communist movie. Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No, I have not seen it, but it is with
You know what it is though?
Yeah, it's with Sean Penn. I haven't even seen it though. He said it was a communist movie.
That made me laugh.
He shit on Tim Robbins some other time before too. Like I said, he shit on like everybody. It is funny though, yeah. And he shits on Europeans all the time. Like
that was awesome. He shit on them in front of their faces.
Like he shits
on their show.
Like in the Howard Stern interview, he called the British animals. He called the French animals. He called the Italians animals. Like he really has something against Europe. He does like Japan though, because I know Ozu is like his favorite filmmaker, and you can kind of see that. I mean, I'm not a big Ozu fan, but I've seen a couple of his movies, and it's very similar, at least from Buffalo 66, especially like the familial drama thing. That's kind of a part of Ozu's movies. And also, what is it? Like Honda or something helped fund Buffalo 66.
Oh.
Yeah, so apparently he's big in Japan.
Oh.
They like.
Is he?
Yeah, apparently.
This movie definitely has like an audition type of vibe to me.
Oh yeah. What do you mean?
A little bit, just it's just like a good movie.
Oh yeah. Well, whenever I think good movie, I think Audition.
There weren't enough.
Yeah.
I love Audition.
Yeah. No, me too. I fucking love Audition.
There weren't. Well, just.
But I'm saying that like when I think of good movie, like my frame of reference is Audition.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So.
No, just like the lack of CGI and Joss Whedon dialogue.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? No, I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of a smaller story.
They're a year apart. 98, 99.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
You're right. But I don't know, just like a smaller story, kind of about family and romance, but with a little dark little twinge to it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I like that kind of movie.
Yeah, me too.
I like that kind of movie. Especially because they get us a lot of views.
Yeah, I agree. Audition went crazy. Buffalo 66 better go crazy.
I think it is.
Hopefully.
This is going to do numbers.
Yeah, I haven't seen like a long review. I've seen some reviews on Buffalo 66 on YouTube. I was looking earlier, but no one's done like a podcast episode on it that I could find anyways.
Oh, really?
On YouTube. Yeah.
Interesting.
So there we go. Some new content for all of you on YouTube.
Yeah, Claire, you better be fucking listening to this right now. I'm gonna be pissed off. My good friend Clarissa.
Mm-hmm.
Is her favorite movie, I guess.
It is her favorite movie.
Yeah. So, hi Claire, if you're listening.
Hello.
Hey. Okay, so anyways, we haven't really started talking about the movie yet. You want to talk about the actual movie?
Yeah.
But yeah, Vincent Gallo's a badass. I just wanted to put it.
Yeah, I've always been very fascinated by him, just because like the controversy, and I do really like his career. Just the fact that, like we said, he kind of got blacklisted because Brown Bunny was kind of a failure, at least when it came out, and then also him talking shit about everybody and his feud with Roger Ebert. And like I said, a mix of self-exile. So yeah, just all of that. He's been gone for a long time.
And he said the R word and F word
in this movie.
Howard Stern. And in the movie.
Oh. Yeah, but it was like what, 20 years ago?
Well, yeah.
It was a lot different back then.
No, it was. Yeah, it certainly was. But it was just when we were watching that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
You can get away with that back then.
Yeah.
And also, this is even more shocking to me. That they were like wishing cancer on people and about it.
No, Howard Stern show. I know you mentioned you haven't really watched it. I watch like a lot of older Howard Stern stuff. His show is fucking wild. It's like extremely wild. You should watch some of it sometime. Yeah.
No, once we watch that.
Nowadays it is not. His show now sucks, but back in the day, yeah, it was wild.
No, because like when we were watching that, I was like, damn, I might go back and watch some of the older clips because you watch them.
No, you definitely could not get away with saying any of that now.
Certainly not, no. But just the old guests he had. And stuff.
You should watch it. I don't know if it's still on YouTube, but there's his old episode back when Spider-Man 1 came out, and Toby was on his show. Toby. Yeah, it's a really good episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, I think I might go perusing some of the old Howard Stern stuff. That'd be fun.
All his old Beetlejuice stuff, really funny.
Beetlejuice?
Yeah. You don't know Beetlejuice? The small black guy?
Oh!
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
He was on Howard Stern?
Yeah, that's where he got famous from. Yeah. Uh-huh.
I thought he was just famous from, like, Vine or something.
No, Howard Stern. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, he's part of the Whack Pack.
The Whack Pack.
Yeah, the Whack Pack.
Interesting.
Uh-huh. Gotta check that out. Yeah. Classic Howard Stern is like really funny. Yeah.
All I know for Howard Stern about is that he used to be edgy and now he's like a liberal.
Yeah.
Which
He's a libtard.
Which is awesome. You can't say that, Evan. You can't say that. But anyways, Howard Stern is epic. No, but genuinely, that Howard Stern interview was good.
Yeah, it's really funny.
And but yeah, you want to get into the movie?
Yeah.
You want to let me give you a quick summary?
Sure.
I know you're chomping at the bit for a quick summary of Buffalo 66.
I've been waiting for Dylan's quick summary.
So, Buffalo 66 is about a man gets out of prison, does he not?
Yeah, after 5 years.
A man leaves prison. He has to pee really bad.
He does.
They don't let him back in.
They don't let him back in.
Because they say the bus is gonna be here. You stay out there.
Yeah.
He leaves the jail. He kidnaps a girl. He takes the girl home to pretend to be his wife. And then he falls in love with the girl.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nailed it.
Pretty much. His parents don't know he's been in prison for 5 years, so he kind of tries to make up a fake life that he's had with a wife. And of course, Christina Ricci.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Voluptuous.
Yeah.
Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
So, Evan, what is your favorite moment in this movie?
My favorite moment in this movie?
Tell me your favorite moment.
I don't know. That's too hard.
Answer.
My favorite moment? That's too hard.
Favorite
I really like the whole thing.
What's your favorite moment?
I don't know.
My favorite moment. I like the part where he's about to pee behind the car, and then the guy
and the lady. There's a lady.
Yeah, the lady's walking up, and he's like, "Oh fuck, man."
Yeah.
He just like walks away. No, that's not my favorite part. The photo booth part was funny.
Yeah.
The bowling part was good.
The bowling part good.
I really like.
Maybe if I had to pick, maybe them at the table with the parents.
I was gonna say
like that part.
The actual parents' home scene is really good. I love Goon.
Goon, of course.
Goon is fantastic. He's the guy in the chair.
Yeah, totally.
Nah, okay.
He's his Ned.
That was a stupid joke. But well, let's start in general. Let's start to talk about the beginning.
Yeah, so the beginning is like we said. You just see him getting out of prison.
Well, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Okay. Evan, if I may.
Yeah.
What do you? So, we don't know what he's in jail for.
No.
Do you think, Evan? Do you think that he is a bad guy?
At the beginning?
Do you think Billy's a bad guy?
Wait, what do you mean, just in general?
In the movie, do you think he's a bad guy?
Like, just in general?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a bad guy. I don't know.
He's
not a good guy.
He's kind of a bad guy.
He's kind of a piece of shit, but like...
Pretty bad guy. Pretty bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not a horrible person, but he's an asshole. That's what I would say. He's like a really massive asshole. I guess what he does with Christina Ricci, kidnapping her basically, that's pretty fucked up. That kind of pushes him into bad guy territory. So yeah, I guess he's not a good guy.
I feel like that's the only thing in the movie that makes it like definitively a bad guy.
Yeah.
Well, no, he considers killing somebody.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But he doesn't do it.
He doesn't do it.
No.
Yeah.
Spoilers, he doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Spoilers for the movie.
Spoilers
for the movie. But basically, they set up the whole movie. The whole movie kind of what's the word? Like converges on a choice of him killing
Scott Wood,
killing the person he blames for his imprisonment.
Yeah, Scott Wood.
Versus being happy with this woman he's kidnapped and what's the word? Stockholm syndromed into.
Yeah. But yeah, like you're saying, so it'd be interesting him walking out of prison.
Well, I wanted to ask you something. About
Yeah.
So when you first watched this, this is kind of a question maybe that would be better from you to me because you've seen it 6 times. Right?
Yeah.
But when you first saw it, what did you think about that? Like, what did you think? Like, oh, was he in jail for? Like, did you consider that or anything? Or
it's been such a long time since I've seen it, but I feel like knowing that he was the main character already, I kind of assumed like, oh, maybe it wasn't something really fucked up.
Yeah.
I can't remember because like it's been long, like since I first seen it. It's hard for me to remember like my initial reaction. But I will say this though, because that's what I want to mention. I felt like I assumed from the beginning maybe not. It wasn't like he did anything extremely fucked up because the beginning of the movie is him walking out of prison, and you kind of get this montage in the middle of him like just looking sad and fucking depressed in prison, like he's crying in the shower and stuff like that. So they kind of set him up right away as well. He's not really like a hardened criminal or anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you get that. You remember at the very beginning when he's walking out.
Yeah, because he walks
and he lays
out,
down on the bench, and you just get like that montage
Yeah.
of scenes of him in prison, like crying in the shower.
Yeah,
and
he
stuff.
and then he just kind of reflects on his time in prison after
Yeah,
he gets out.
and he just lays down on the bench. He's just like sad as fuck. And then of course that leads to can I come back in to take a piss?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say I probably didn't because of that. That's kind of the tell. You know what I mean? And
interesting.
It's also that's just kind of a big part of the movie in general. Is that throughout the whole movie he kind of tries to put up this tough guy image. But as you get further and further along, you realize that he's really not what he's trying to present himself to be.
Yeah.
That's also just the plot of the movie in general, like him making up this lie.
Yeah.
But it's like it goes deeper beyond. It's like he's lying to himself outside this obvious lie he's making up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Because
there's certain things he lies about that kind of are for no one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, there's certain things that like, for example, his ex-girlfriend kind of plays into the movie. Or not his ex-girlfriend, really, but this...
he lies and says it was his ex-girlfriend.
It was this girl that he was basically stalking for several years.
Yeah, his whole childhood.
And she asked, "Oh, who is that?" He could have said, "Oh, I don't know, shut up." Like, but he's like, "It's my ex-girlfriend. I had to let her go because like."
Christina Ricci. Just for you don't know, she sees a picture of her in his locker that he has at the bowling alley.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she asks him, who is that? And he says, "Oh, it's my ex-girlfriend. I had her cut her loose because I'm a free spirit and I can't be tied down like
exactly.
that." It's like, dude, like you went all out on that lie.
Exactly. So he really tried to present himself as kind of like this tough guy. I get chicks. You know what I mean? Like he's cool. When you kind of as the movie progresses, you find out more and more he's kind of a loser.
He's a huge loser.
Yeah.
And but even before you see his lies, kind of cave in on themselves.
Yeah.
Because that's an obvious example because they actually meet that girl later. Yeah. She's like, "Oh, weren't you like in my neighborhood?"
Yeah. And like, I always saw you walking by my house. Yeah. Every time I looked out
the window, you would be walking by. Isn't that funny? No, but she so that lie is kind of like exposed like outright.
Yeah.
But there's also like when he first gets in the car and forces Christina Ricci to drive.
I was going to mention this. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets the stick shift and he's like, "I can't drive this. I drive real cars. I drive expensive cars.
Yeah, luxury cars
don't have this.
Automatic cars.
Have you ever been in a luxury car? I drive luxury car. I love the way
he says a Cadillac Eldorado.
You know, a Cadillac Eldorado. No, like I love the way he talks.
Yeah.
It's really fun because the way he talks too is like he's trying so hard to convince them and like himself. I guess like he's like repeats everything and he's very frantic. I really like that.
Yeah, I assume actually. I think he doesn't even know how to drive in general.
Maybe.
I just gonna assume he doesn't even know how to drive.
Maybe.
Cause you couldn't drive the stick shift, and you're not hot shit like you were saying about the automatic, especially back then, because it was like automatic was like, the default like it is now. You know what I'm saying? I just assume he probably didn't even know how to drive. He's just gonna give it a go, but then since it was stick shift, it was kind of his out. You know what I mean?
He was like, "Oh, I can't even do this."
Yeah.
Then, yeah, like his out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that too. Yeah.
That's obviously never confirmed, but yeah, that's a lie. Him being like, "Oh, I only drive luxury," but like, no, you're not the hot shot.
But like I was saying too, they never go out of their way to like prove that a lie in the movie, but you get the sense that like, okay, this guy's full of shit.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
Good writing. They don't have to be like, "No, dude, you're lying." Yeah. Sorry, MCU. We always had to bring that up for like just shitty fucking writing. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, and that's at the beginning.
Yeah.
And also like, so yeah, like we were saying, the beginning is him getting out of prison. You see that, you kind of automatically know from that montage he's not a tough guy. And then before even the car thing, he's like trying to run around because he really needs to take a piss, and this makes him angrier. So there's the scene. I guess it's problematic now, but I actually do want to talk about this. When he first meets Christina Ricci, there's that bathroom scene where he's gonna take a piss.
Scene.
Yeah, at the tap dance school.
I have a hot take about it.
Hold on.
We're continuing.
Hold on to that. He goes in there, and there's another dude, just watching him, like pull his dick out.
It's a small bathroom.
Yeah.
And there's like basically 2 urinals that are like side by side.
Yeah.
It's very close.
And there's most likely gay man. I mean, he was at the tap dance school, dressed very femininely, and he's just staring at Vincent Gallo and dick, and he tried to piss, and he's like, "What the fuck are you looking at? You fucking." He calls him the F word, and he pushes him out.
The bad F word.
Yeah, the bad F word. And he's like, "I can't fucking piss with him in here." But I think that whole just freak out was another kind of front. And also, I don't think it was only that it was a dude. We see later in the movie, he also just doesn't like to be looked at intimately.
Or touched.
Yeah, exactly. And I think maybe that was part of it. I don't think the scene was just like there just to be homophobic. I think it's a tell for what's to come later. He doesn't like to be seen intimately at all.
Yeah, because I think there was part
He's
of it.
He's very insecure.
There was part of it where I was like, before I had finished the movie, or gotten farther into the movie, where it really, like, you find out he had, like, an obsessive crush on this girl and everything. I was like, oh, is he gay? But I think you're right. It's not a fear of his, like, internal, like, being gay or whatever. But it's his internal fear of intimacy.
Yeah, yeah. He's just insecure. So, yeah, that's just more the front, I think. Yeah. Like, more of a lie he's telling himself. It's like, oh, no, because it's a dude, and I'm, like, a macho man. But, no, it's really just, you're scared of any kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that a dude looking at your dick in this all of intimacy, but you get what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it is to him, obviously, in a way, because he doesn't even want
Christina Ricci,
like, looking at him when he's in the bathtub with his underwear still on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like a fear of intimacy.
Yeah.
And that continues.
Yeah. What were you going to say, though? You said you had a hot take.
I do have a hot take. That is sexual assault. So I think he has a right to be mad.
Oh, staring at your dick? I guess, probably ain't right to be just staring at some dude's dick.
Well, not sexual assault, but it's, what's the word?
Harassment?
Sexual harassment.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. You probably shouldn't be staring at some dude's dick. I don't think that's a hot take. That's a pretty fair take.
Okay.
I wouldn't go, like,
maybe
come on, you just be decent. Don't look at another dude's dick.
Maybe you shouldn't have called him the F word.
Yeah.
But he had a right to be mad.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'd be mad if someone's just looking at my... I'd be like, why are you doing this? I can't pee now because you're looking at my penis. Yeah, I agree, Dylan.
Anyways.
But yeah, so, like we said, that's just kind of a whole front he puts up.
And then he
kidnaps her after there. Because she sees him raging out, and she's like, wow, watch your mouth.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's really funny because he's like, oh man, can I borrow a quarter?
Yeah.
And then that part's funny, and that interaction.
Can I borrow it now?
Yeah. Can I borrow it now, miss? Yeah, it's funny. He's really funny.
Yeah.
And then, so he borrows a quarter, has a phone call.
With his mother.
Christina Ricci, she, so we kind of jumped around a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? This is before he's kidnapped her.
Mm-hmm.
And the first interaction they have is the quarter thing.
Yeah.
To borrow for the phone. And then she's in the bathroom stall, and she hears him talking to
his
mom. Yeah. And he's clearly lying his ass off to his mom.
Yeah.
Because he's like, yeah, Mom, I'm in a fancy hotel. It's really yes, Mom, it's clean. It's very fancy, I said. And all that type of shit. And he's like, well, my wife, she's sick. My wife is sick. Do you want me to drag her out of bed? She's sick. Okay.
He's like, okay, you want me to bring her? I'll bring her.
She's like, she's upstairs. I had to go to the lobby to call you. Okay? He's just pissed. And then Christina Ricci's heard all that.
Yeah.
So she must know.
Yeah.
Off the bat that he's full of shit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then from there, because he dug himself a hole.
Yeah.
Into a hole when talking to his mother. She's like, oh, fuck, I don't have anybody. So he just kidnaps fucking Christina Ricci.
And it's funny,
too, he just grabs her and he pulls her out of the school.
He approaches her almost in the same way.
Yeah.
He's like, miss, excuse me, miss.
Yeah.
And then he's like, shut the fuck up. And he puts his mouth over her.
Yeah. His mouth over her. He takes a big chomp out of her head.
He takes a big bite out of her head, yeah.
He actually does say, like, oh, I'll take a bite out of your face.
He does say that.
Yeah,
he does. No, but he puts his hand over her mouth, is what I meant to say. And he pulls her out of the dance studio.
And then, like we said, we get into the whole car thing, and he gets her to drive to his old neighborhood. But first they pull over, and he finally gets to piss.
Yeah, he does.
And
It's kind of an excuse also for how fucking mad he is.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Because he had this long bus ride and he had to pee from, like, before he even got on the
Yeah.
bus and everything. So it's kind of an excuse for how, like, extremely mad he is in the beginning of the movie.
I'm gonna say, because this one, I wouldn't say it's like, oh, you start seeing, like, kind of warming up. Maybe a little bit. I guess being nicer. He kind of gets in and he apologizes. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry for pulling your hair. I'm sorry for being mean. He's like, but I need you to do me a favor. Like, can you pretend to be my wife? He says, all you gotta do is just make me look good. He says, if you make me look good, I'll be your best friend.
What a thing to say.
He's like, I'll be your best friend, the best friend you ever had. But if you make me look bad, I'll be really angry at you. Like, oh, what is it? What a proposal.
God, what a guy. But yeah, I immediately, when I was watching that scene, when he goes to take a piss, I was like, this is like the most irredeemable character like ever made. And I was like, why? I would just pull off like so hard.
I know. Well, yeah. So to answer your question earlier, yeah, he definitely is a bad guy. I was like hesitating to say it because I'm like, oh, he's charming in his own way. Like, I wouldn't say he's likable, but it's like, I don't know what the word to describe him is. He's funny.
He's sympathetic.
I guess so. Yeah.
Especially like as you get further into the movie.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, for the first like 10 or 15 minutes, I was like, "Geez, this guy's like insane."
Yeah.
I mean, he's still insane later, but you kind of get.
There are varying degrees of his insanity.
Yeah, you kind of get it more later. But I think the reason Christina Ricci, her character Layla, why she didn't like immediately pull off, I think she was just like kind of interested.
I agree.
Like she was like, this guy is like, I wonder what the fuck is going on with this guy.
That's the thing. We never really find out too much about what's going on with her.
Yeah.
And one of the critics in that video we were mentioning, they're saying like, oh, there's like, I forgot what they said. There's like two people who don't really have any kind of love or whatever. It's like, well, we don't. That's not exactly what he said, but you remember.
Yes.
But it's
he
like,
says two non-romantic people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, we never really get too much into Christina Ricci's character, but just what I can like infer, I'm like, maybe she is a lonely person or something like that, or she doesn't have any, I don't know, like anybody close in her life. You know what I mean? Cause like we just see her by herself at the tap dance school. She's kind of young. I don't know. You can only just make inferences because we never get anything about her background whatsoever.
Can I make a cool inference towards her background, Evan? I think maybe could she be a stripper?
I never thought that, but maybe. I guess it's possible.
The only reason I say that is because, well, she's in a dance school.
But tap dancing?
No, listen. Okay, there's more.
Because they're pole dancing.
There's more.
They're pole dancing
Evan,
lessons.
there's more.
Yeah, okay.
There's more. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's in a dance class. And maybe she's trying her hand in various types of dance.
Maybe.
And she starts dancing around a pole in the bowling alley.
But it wasn't that kind of. Even tap dance. She tap dances.
She was still dancing around a pole, though.
Briefly.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I guess it's possible.
I mean, it's more than we have.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, well, that scene is there for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, she just starts.
Because it just kind of stands out.
Yeah. It does,
yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
maybe that could indicate.
That's a really good scene, though. I like that part a lot.
Yeah.
With the King Crimson song playing.
Sure.
Well.
What is that? I don't know.
Oh, it's a band.
Sure. I knew that.
Anyways, what were we saying?
We were just talking about Christina Ricci's character. You were saying like, oh, she might be kind of lonely too. We don't really know about her.
Yeah, but maybe you're right. Maybe she could be. That's not a bad inference. I don't think. Yeah.
Perhaps.
It's certainly possible. Yeah.
Perhaps. She's a very sweet girl. Very nice girl.
Yeah, and we know she's like, I don't know how old. She's like 17 or 18, which is already a little sus on her part. But I think she's like, yeah, she's young. And she does mention later, oh, can I get a Jack and Coke? No, a rum and Coke. Well, that is... Wait, no, Jack's not rum. But she wants a rum and Coke.
Jack and Coke would be what Dylan's drinking.
Yeah, that'd be what Dylan's drinking. She wants a rum and Coke. So it's like... Again, that's not too much to work off, but it could kind of hint at maybe she's like exposed to like a more grown-up kind of lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if you're a stripper, you'd have access to
exactly,
alcohol.
Yeah. So, maybe. It's certainly possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dylan's smart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Or maybe she got daddy issues. Who knows?
More than likely.
Yeah. So I mean, they didn't really get into it. So she kind of like just sucked. Like you said, she's interested, so she just kind of goes along with it.
Yeah.
And there is an element of Stockholm syndrome in it, like you said, because like he's a complete asshole. He kidnaps her, and then she just kind of falls in love with him.
Yeah. You only really. When would you say that starts? Where she seems to like him.
Kind of immediately.
Kind of.
Even when they're on their steps. He's like, oh, you hold me. You know what I mean? She just does it willingly.
Yeah, and then she's like, don't. He's like, don't fucking touch me.
Yeah, he's like, don't touch me. He said, again, more of the intimacy issue. It's because, like, yeah, so they're going up to his parents' house, and he's kind of, like, freaking out before he goes in, because like, he hasn't seen them in so long. And also, they're kind of pieces of shit, which we'll get into. His parents aren't the best people. They're, like, I feel like they're probably the root cause of most of his problems.
That's when you become more sympathetic to him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, once you're seeing parents yeah. And yeah, especially the 2 flashbacks you get with each parent doing their shit. Yeah, exactly. It's like fucked up shit. Yeah.
And it's interesting too because they're very like gendered flaws.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely.
Like, cause the dad is like very overt, violent, and strict, and then the mom is like. She's like trying to be sweet,
yeah,
and kind, but she's not thoughtful at all.
Exactly, yeah,
You know. So yeah, they're pieces of shit.
Yeah. But just on Christina Ricci again, real quick before we get into the parents. That's the reason I say it's a bit fairy tale-esque, just because of how
easily they fall in love.
Yeah, exactly. How unrealistic the romance is,
yeah.
I guess you could say. It's like something out of a fairy tale, I would say. It's like this like all-loving woman comes into his life.
Yeah.
And just like accepts him completely for who he is.
You
know what I mean?
Manic pixie dream
exactly.
girl.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Well, I mean, she's not a manic pixie dream girl, but she has the same kind of purpose.
Like her love does change him for the better.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, you know, he didn't have to work on himself at all. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like, I accept you for who you are. You know what I mean? Which is like, oh, that's great. Like, that sounds fucking awesome. And I can kind of understand why that female critic in the Critic versus Vincent Gallo video we're watching kind of said, like, oh, this seems like a male fantasy type thing. Because it's like, oh, yeah, doesn't that sound amazing? Just some girl who just completely accepts us for who we are. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I can totally understand that. I can see that as a critique of the movie, like, pretty...
And
justifiably,
the female host, I'm not familiar again with Howard Stern, but we were watching the Howard Stern one as well, and she was like, "Oh, I don't get it."
Yeah, she said she didn't like the movie.
She was like, she didn't even watch it that long.
Yeah. So.
But to be fair though, I think she did quit before they got to the parents' house because she stopped watching it.
Oh, maybe I don't remember.
Watching it, she might have liked it. I don't know.
But still, yeah.
I feel like there's a. It's very male oriented, and like I said, my friend Clarissa, she happens to be a girl as well. It's her favorite movie. I don't want to speak with. Sorry. No, it's fine. I don't want to speak with. I don't want to. What's the word? What's the word, Evan?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I don't want to. God, what's the word? Not stereotype. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to put anyone in a box or anything and say like, oh, this is for boys. Yeah. But it's a very.
Yeah,
like
I definitely understand what you mean. Yeah, I definitely understand what you mean. But it does have, from what I've seen at least online, it does have a fair amount of female fans. And I actually did watch it with a female friend, and she enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I don't know, unless she was lying. I remember her enjoying it.
Okay. Well, I think it does kind of. There are a lot of men, like you were saying, that I think can I don't know, appreciate the idea of like, oh, like a girl just comes along and just likes me even though like she saw me at my worst. Yeah. It's literally like she enters his life probably at the worst point possible, and she like still accepts him and falls for him for no reason. I think every guy could probably
and that's pretty much what I meant when I said the fairy tale thing in the beginning of the episode.
But I think there's a lot of girls also that have that kind of relate to that as well.
Yeah, and I think there are plenty of female-oriented movies that are like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I haven't seen them, so I don't know. But I can only assume.
There's also a lot of girls that like the idea of like fixing a guy
Yeah.
I feel like that.
That's definitely a big aspect of this movie. I can fix
kinda-
him. Yeah, that's definitely a huge aspect.
She's like an I can fix him GF.
Yeah. And she does by the end. So
Pretty much.
yeah. Yeah. Do you want to start talking about his parents though?
Yeah, so it's the parents scene. So I mean, before you even go inside, the house is decorated with the buffaloes. What do they call it?
The Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills.
Is that it, right? Yeah, Buffalo Bills.
Oh, and his name's Billy.
Yeah, Billy Brown.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh shit. But yeah, the mom is obsessed with the Buffalo Bills.
I don't think the dad gives a shit about the
football
sports.
Team. No,
He doesn't seem to. Yeah.
No. The mom is deeply obsessed with it.
The dad just wears a kind of like a. It's funny what it's not a wife beater, but it's like in that it's just a white tee. You know what I mean? It's funny. Okay, so when they first knock on the door, this shot is fucking hilarious to me. When he sees that it's his son, he just looks so disappointed. Fucking Ben Gazzara as a Jimmy Brown. He just sees him and he looks disappointed as fuck and walks away. And he's like, "Oh, it's your son." Yeah. And he says that a lot. He's always like, when he's speaking to his wife, he says, "Oh, your son." So he kind of like disowns him. He just thinks he's a piece of shit. Billy, I guess, kind of a loser. That's what he thinks of. He does not like his son.
Do you think it's
very clearly?
Do you think it's his biological father?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't think there's anything to imply it isn't.
That he hates him?
Huh. I just think he, especially because Vincent Gallo talked about his father and his mother in his personal life, and the way he describes his father is very similar to this movie. So yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, he describes his dad like in the Howard Stern interview. He talked about how his dad was just like a mean fucker.
Yeah.
And he described it as violent. Remember, he said like, "Oh, he beat him for 9 days."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you remember? So yeah, and like you were mentioning that earlier, like how the flashback we get of the dad is kind of a moment of violence.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the way he sees his parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was mentioning that in the Howard Stern interview. He was like, because wasn't he like, "Oh, did you have a bad relationship with your parents?" And he was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
Like he was very blunt about it. So. Fucked up.
Yeah. And then so yeah, they go inside, like I said, dad looks disappointed, and then you kind of get this shot, well, various shots of them all sitting at the dinner table. Remember you mentioned this, that you didn't really like this. Like he does this a lot throughout the movie. Not necessarily
the
montage.
Scrapbook type of thing.
Yeah, where it's like various, like one big shot and various shots within the shot. I guess that's the kind of a way to say it.
Yeah.
It's like he does his, like the most prominent example I think is here at the table. It's like they show him sitting with the parents, and then like the parents with her, and then the two. Like he shows each angle of the table.
In one part and on the screen at the same time.
Yeah.
Does that happen?
Yeah, like you see him.
Oh.
Like him sitting here with the parents.
I remember it cutting to.
And then
part.
her sitting, like the mom sitting with.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but doesn't it just cut? It doesn't.
What do you mean?
They're all on screen at the same time, or they cut?
No, it cuts to each one.
That's not what I don't like. I didn't really like the.
Oh, I thought that's what you didn't.
No. When that was, that was fine.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
Like for example, when he was sitting on the bench.
And it showed the flash.
All the shit on the screen at the same time. I didn't like that.
Okay.
They do that.
I really like that a lot.
I don't really like
it. And they do it a couple times here during the parents thing.
Yeah. Not a huge fan of that.
They do that to go into both the flashbacks. Interesting. The one with the donuts and the one with the dog. They start cutting it out.
I like it as a transition.
Okay.
I like it as a transition, but I guess the first one it didn't do that. It was just kind of showed it all at once. I was like, oh, that's kind of ugly.
Yeah.
I don't know. But as a transition, I think. I like
okay.
Yeah. But yeah, the parents.
Yeah. So they, it's immediately pretty tense.
So I wanted to ask you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think they know he was in prison?
No.
You don't think?
I don't think they gave a shit.
They don't give a shit.
Yeah. And so he just lied about it too. They were just giving, because that's a point in the movie we see with Goon during the flashback. Because in this part we find out why he was in prison. Yeah, because they just gave him the letters and were like, okay, whatever. I don't think they gave a shit enough about him to even care. They just believed him reading the letters. But anyways, I would say no. Do you think they knew he was in prison?
Well, it's just because he's such a fucking liar.
Yeah.
And he's such a bad liar that I feel like they did know that he. Well,
I think his parents don't care enough to even
know.
He's lying. Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think maybe they would have been like, "Oh, these letters are bullshit."
Yeah.
Or maybe they didn't even read them. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's certainly possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they did because when the phone call he has with his mom earlier, she already knows he has a wife.
Oh, right.
So yeah.
She was, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what was I gonna say? But I don't know. There's something about it. Just the way that he's so bad at lying. But he's such a liar. I feel like you would expect everything out of his mouth to be a lie.
Yeah.
Especially if you're his parents.
I can see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But for me, how I would take, I think just in general, like if they were normal parents, or like Christina Ricci, because she knows pretty much that he's bullshitting. Like she calls him like on the Wendy Balls and things. She pretty much calls him out on it.
Oh yeah.
My point is, if they were like normal people, they probably would know. But I just think they don't give a shit enough about him at all to even care. And I think they're kind of stupid. We see that especially with the mom. She's pretty fucking stupid. The dad's just an asshole, straight up asshole.
One part that was really funny to me. Oh, sorry.
No, she's. No, they're both terrible. They're both terrible people. Yeah.
Because he could like, it's very much like a. I don't want to, like I said, put people in a box.
Yeah.
Or whatever, but it's like the quintessential like bad mom.
Yeah.
The quintessential bad dad.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, they're sitting there. I guess he starts introducing them to her. It's very awkward at first, and she wants to go to the bathroom. She's like, yeah, Billy, go show her to the bathroom. He's like down the hall.
It's over there.
Yeah, just being a complete asshole. And it's funny here. I think the mom goes up to the kitchen.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
I also think it's funny as fuck that he's like, don't take too long.
Yeah.
And she's like, I have to go to the bathroom. And he's real quick also.
Yeah.
I kind of want to backtrack a little bit because there's also elements of like he's so fucking unhinged in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Like he's like, I swear to fucking God, I'll kill you.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you leave, I'll fucking kill you.
Uh-huh.
If you fuck this up, I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Like, and his threats get less severe as the movie goes on. Like the last threat, sorry, I have to jump ahead for the example because it gets less severe as the movie goes on, and the last threat he gives is to Goon, because he's like, you know what, Goon, I met a cute girl today.
Well, I don't even see that as a threat.
No, listen, because he does threaten him. He's like, I met my girlfriend today, and I was like, he's like, you can't have my stuff.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Take my stuff, I'm gonna karate chop you in the head.
Yeah.
So he does threaten him, but it's like a goofier.
Yeah. Well, what if he threats at the beginning isn't too bad to her because he says, "I'll never talk to you again." That kind of goofy. But I see what you mean. He just makes like these like various stupid threats throughout the movie, and like I think that's more of the lie we were talking like that fake image he's trying to put up. But what I'm gonna say is his kind of disposition towards her in that, I guess even part of the like his violent threats. I think maybe that does come from his dad because we get kind of a tell here. When she's in the bathroom and the mom goes in the kitchen, we see the dad's like, he's not even looking at him, and you see him like you can't see me, RNS listener, but he's like putting his hand to his forehead. And then we see Billy like does the same exact thing. He mirrors him.
You know the first thing I thought when I saw that?
Yeah.
Back to the Future.
That it is very similar to Back to the Future, yeah. Back to the Future did it first, yeah. They did. But it's the same exact thing. So, and that's like, oh, that's very purposeful, obviously, yeah.
I didn't notice that too.
So I think he kind of gets that like angry disposition, that kind of distance maybe from his father.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, his dad, the violence, but maybe his mom, like the kind of, because his mom is like, she acts warm, but she's like not. She's like distant.
Yeah.
Still. So that's kind of maybe that too.
Yeah. So that's something I never really even thought about. It's just like. Obviously, I knew that he's the way he is because his parents were not good, but it's like, you kind of see he had traits of both of them.
Yeah.
In him, that's interesting. Anyways, I don't know what else you guys say about
what else is in that scene. I mean,
well, there's kind of a lot here. This might be like the longest portion of the movie, maybe.
Oh, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
This is a bit off topic, but. I didn't really know what this movie was about, right? Mm-hmm. And we talked about this earlier. I was like, Buffalo 66, like, is it like a road trip movie? Like, is that a road? I don't know. Is that a highway?
Yeah.
I thought that was like a highway.
It's in reference to Buffalo, New York, and he was born in 1966.
Yes.
The character of Billy Brown.
Why certainly it is.
Yeah.
Why certainly it is. But so I didn't really know what the movie was about, and then I read the description. I think you told me like a brief description one time a while ago.
Yeah.
And it's basically like this guy gets out of prison and he goes home.
Yeah.
And then on shout out to Tubi. So I did watch this on one of the classic alternative streaming services, and this time I can name it.
Yeah, Tubi.
Tubi.
Shout out Tubi.
So if you do want to use Tubi, it's not bad. Not a bad service.
Tubi, sponsor us, please.
But
whoever the podcast is saying, yo, Tubi.
I mean, yeah.
Exactly. Sponsor us, Tubi.
Exactly. Get at us, Tubi. Keep putting cool classics on Tubi. But yeah, Buffalo 66 is on there right now, and Tubi is completely free to use, so if you want to check it out.
Fuck with Tubi.
But the reason I bring up Tubi is because the description was basically a man leaves prison for the first time in 5 years and goes home to his family. But would he prefer to have stayed in jail?
Did it say that really?
Yeah, something like that.
That's like a pretty stupid description.
Yeah. No, it was stupid. But when it said family, and when you had described it to me too, I thought he was going home to like his wife.
Yeah.
The whole time, like I barely knew anything about this movie, but I knew he leaves jail and goes to see his family. So I always thought he was seeing his wife. So when he walked into the ballet class, I was like, oh shit, like is that his wife?
Yeah.
Well, kinda, but no, it's not. So I completely didn't really even know what I was getting into, but it was good.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's a good movie. So we were talking about the.
Should we talk about the two
the
two flashbacks we get of the parents?
I feel like there might be. Is there any interesting stuff that happens before that?
Well, the first thing we get is like, oh, she's acting like, oh, Billy, do you want any pop? And she's like, you know that, because it kind of leads into the other one that's worse.
You know what I'm drinking? Any pop? Mom?
Yeah, he said he messes up his stomach, and then he's like, oh, do you want ginger ale? She's like, ginger ale is pop. Dylan, do you want to talk about that?
So that's a controversial. That's a bit of a controversial kind of part of the movie. I would say that might be what sent Vincent Gallo that got him blacklisted, because he claims that ginger ale is pop, ma, and it's simply not.
Should we just leave it at that?
Well, ginger ale is simply not pop. No, I'll get into it real quick. So I quit drinking soda, and I remember. So I quit drinking soda, in a sense.
In a sense.
And then Evan.
Besides the classic Jack and Coke. That's cheating.
I say with a soda in front of me right now, but basically I told Evan, and some of my friends and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I stopped drinking soda, blah blah blah. And then I remember we went to the movies like maybe that day or that week or something, and then you were like, oh, what are you drinking? I was like, ginger ale. And you're like, ginger ale is soda. And I was like, nah, it's not soda. Now, I can admit it is soda, but it's just...
Buffalo 66 confirmed it.
Yeah, so it was funny because when I got to that scene where he says, Ma, ginger ale is soda. I was like, I sent a picture to Evan. I was like, is this why you made me watch this?
And then it was so funny. Dylan sent that to me. And I was like, me and Joey were literally just talking about that.
Yeah.
We were like, because Joey's like, I wonder what Dylan's going to think of that part. Yeah, he mentioned to me also that you had told him that like I'm only drinking ginger ale.
Ginger ale. It's not soda. It's healthy.
It's good for your stomach, like she says. But yeah, that kind of leads into the worst thing though about the donuts. So then she brings them those like chocolate donuts. It's not like even just a little bit. It's like the chocolate ass donuts, like the whole shit in chocolate. And he's like, I'm fucking allergic to that. Don't you remember when I ate the brownies or whatever it was?
He was eating like fistful of chocolate bars.
Yeah, when he was a little kid. And she's like, no, you always loved chocolate, Billy. So like she doesn't remember like.
She doesn't even remember her son.
Yeah, basically, yeah. She said, no, you always loved chocolate. And you get that flashback of him as a little kid. And you see he had like really bad allergic reaction to it. And he mentions, oh, you had to take me to the ER because of it. And she's like, no, I don't know your time. But like she just denies the truth. Like she must be right.
Yeah, just gaslighting him.
Yeah. Actually, he kind of does that throughout the movie.
What?
Like he's like, about Serge, he's like, no, I'm right. Yeah. Billy. So it's like, that could be something maybe he takes from his mother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well, he's a fucking huge liar.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. Yeah. Interesting. I never really thought about it like that before, but it's like, yeah, he has traits of both his mother and his father. Yeah, and then there's another part where she went to see the picture of Billy. Oh, this is also really fucked up. She's like, Layla's like, yeah, can I see pictures of Billy as a kid? And she's like, sure. Honey, can you find the picture of Billy? And then she busts out a big ass photo book that's all of her, like, with like football players and like her wedding with her husband. And there's no pictures of Billy in there whatsoever. And they have it like, I don't know where it is, and he can't even find it at first. And then he finds the picture of Billy. So that's another like tell like they don't give a shit about him at all. They have one picture of him. It's like hidden away from their photo book. I don't know what you think of that scene.
No, that is funny.
Yeah.
Because like at first I was like, did I even hear it? Like, because I had to think about it first. I was like, they said the picture.
Yeah, the picture of
the picture. They had one picture. That is fucking crazy.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, yeah, and then it's a picture of him and his dog as a kid. And then she's like, oh, it's such a cute puppy. What happened to it? And the dad's like, oh, yeah, bingo. Oh, he ran away. He, like, ran away. And then you get a flashback and you see, like, he's, like, outside playing football as a kid or whatever.
And the dog actually died of old age happily.
Oh, yeah, and then that's the end of the movie. Yeah, the dad literally, like, he fucking, like, broke the dog's neck or something.
Yeah, choked it
or
broke its neck or
yeah,
something.
because it peed in the house.
Yeah.
And you see him have a reaction to this later when the parents are both gone from the table. He's like crying looking at the picture. So you know it's something that still bothers him to this day. And like we said, that kind of goes hand in hand with the violence thing. He had a very violent reaction to the dog peeing in the house. He like killed the fucking dog. I don't know, that was really fucked to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, he just both of his parents were like, I don't know, there's bad parents.
Yeah, yeah.
What else can you say?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they were just both, well, for one, they didn't care about him.
Yeah.
And then, you know, also, they both kind of, the key thing is they didn't really care about him, I think. But the way that they handled their emotions, obviously, in front of him.
Yeah.
Like we said, there's a distinction between how the mom and dad do it, but...
And it's interesting. It's very small, but you get two kind of insights into the parents as to why they might not care for Billy or love him or are disappointed by him or didn't want him, whatever. So you get the singing scene with the dad where he's singing the Sinatra song, Fools Rush In. Also, fun fact, the recording you hear there is actually an actual recording of Vincent Gallo's real father singing that song.
Oh,
and that's yeah, no joke. But you see, like, oh, he kind of a failed, like, he never really made it as a singer. And maybe he holds that against, like, you know, his family, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And then we see with her, she's mad at Billy because she missed the last time the Buffalo Bills won the fucking championship game. Because she had Billy on that day. And she holds it against him, like, fucking however many years later. She's like, yeah, I wish I never had him because I missed the last time the Buffalo Bills ever won a championship game. So you know what I mean? That's all. I don't know. It's like, I think it's good character work. It's very small, but it's like, you kind of get a deeper insight into both of the parents.
I would say the singing one is kind of subtle, but the Buffalo.
Well, yeah, it's not subtle,
like
but
super goofy.
Yeah. My point is that they don't like harp on it too much.
Yeah. And
you know, the parents aren't in the movie for too long, so it's like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just good writing, I guess you could say. It is goofy though. The football one is very goofy, but as we see, she's just verily. What is verily? She's very obsessed with the fucking football team just in general.
Yeah, and you get like obviously, like I said, the house is decorated before you even meet the parents, which is. And
you hear her yelling at the screen.
Yeah.
Or when she's trying to talk about how they met, that bullshit story she makes up about how they met. She's not even listening to mom. She's like looking at the TV.
She's like, watch this.
And it was not even like a game going on that day. It was like a rerun. It was the rerun of when he missed the shot. But she's watching it like it's live, like it's happening. Like she's expecting him to make the field goal.
Yeah.
Which is
I didn't know if that was a recent game or not, but you're saying...
No, it wasn't, because
was that was the game that he lost the bet on?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, right.
But she's watching it like it's happening. You know what I mean? That's insane to me.
It is insane. It is insane. I mean, if you don't have... Back then, they didn't have Tubi, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, they didn't have to.
But,
It's just how obsessed she is with the fucking shit.
Even in, like, pre-streaming times, or, like, pre-rental times, that's still fucking crazy.
Yeah,
to watch a sports game.
Oh, she probably had recorded on video. Not on thing, but she probably taped on the video.
Did.
Yeah, on the tape. But, still, yeah. That she rewatching the game. Like, she's expecting a different outcome.
And then keeps reacting
to
what
I mean?
A brand new game.
Like, she's expecting him to make the goal this time. Yeah. And then that kind of leads into the transition where we find out he had bet $10,000 that he didn't have on the football game.
That got him into some trouble.
Yeah. This is interesting. They never really get into that, like why he made that bet. I don't know. Do you have anything to say about that?
Just wanted some money.
Is that it? Yeah, just want some money. I guess, I don't know. Like, they never really get into his motivations as far as that. Obviously, you know, anybody just wants money, but, like, the fact that he just made this insane bet. I don't know. What he was trying to get at that, maybe he wanted to get at Buffalo. Maybe he wanted to impress him with Wendy Balsam. Who knows?
Maybe he wanted his mom to be happy.
That's also certainly a possibility. Yeah.
I guess.
We see he did like the Buffalo Bills. He mentions that later. He's like, yeah, we remember they were doing pretty good that whole season. Like when he tried to change his demeanor towards Scott Wood at the end. Scott Wood's like the player who missed the field goal.
Is he a fake player?
I don't think he's real.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know anything about football.
I just thought it would be really
Leave a comment, RNS listeners. If you know about football, comment.
If you're a football boy,
you
let us know. Not if you're a football girl, though.
But that kind of sets off his motivation for the rest of the movie. We find out it's like he wants to kill Scott Wood. He blames him for his fuck up.
Like the male
he blames the world.
Kind of
yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. He blames the world for his own fucking problems, and that's very Taxi Driver-esque as well. You mentioned Taxi Driver, so yeah. Joker-esque, Joker 2019. So yeah, you're definitely not wrong. No, you're.
But I like this movie because.
Has a happy ending.
You go happy at the
end.
He sees the happy side.
Yeah, he does see the happy side. What were we saying though? What does it talk about that?
We're talking about
about Scott Wood. How he wants to kill Scott Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, for missing the field goal. That's kind of his motivation. And I want to say though, it's interesting because like even though his parents are fucking horrible people, still throughout the movie you get like the idea that he does care about them.
He certainly seems to care about them more than they care about him.
Yeah, because like in the flashback when you find out why he was in prison, because he had to take the fall for betting money he didn't have. The bookie's like, yeah, you're gonna take this fall or else I'm gonna kill you and your parents. So you see in that sense it's like, well, like when he threatened his family, it's like, he was willing to do. I don't know. I think it's like it shows. He was.
Yeah, he seemed
willing to go to prison to
protect them.
Yeah, to protect his parents. And then when he came out of prison, he knows like his goal is to kill Scott Wood and then kill himself. But he thinks to himself like, I want to see my parents one more time before I do this. You know what I mean? And also while he was in prison, he still tried to maintain some form of contact with them by having Goon, which we haven't even talked about Goon yet. We should talk about Goon.
We need to talk about
Goon. He had Goon delivering the letters to them that he pre-wrote in prison for each month, and then one for Christmas and one for his mom's birthday. So it's like he doesn't hate them. You see that he really does still care about his parents despite all that bullshit.
Despite them being fucking horrible people.
So I think that it speaks to his character a bit. It shows that he's not a complete piece of shit, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't necessarily. He doesn't like the way he is, I guess.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a scene later in the Denny's where he like breaks down. Yeah. I think that's kind of a show of that. He's just like, I don't want to live. He just like, you remember in the Denny's bathroom. Classic. Do you want to talk about Goon though?
One thing real quick.
To
speak about something else. And when they walk in the Denny's, they first walk in the Denny's, right? And they say,
save the Denny's. We can get into
just the one part. Just the one part, right? They walk in the Denny's. They say, smoking or no smoking. Take me back to that, right? Am I right?
You said whatever.
Am I right? Take me back to that. So yeah, we can talk about what were we talking about?
Oh, Goon. Because, yeah, after we get that flashback, he goes to talk to on the phone with Goon. Or it's sometime around then, but we talked enough about the parents. You get the idea. So he called Goon up. And you had seen Goon in the flashbacks already. He was, like, with him watching the football game. And he told Billy, no, don't bet the he's like, that's too much money. And he told Billy he's going to be in trouble. And Goon, he may or may not be mentally handicapped. It's certainly very implied that he's a mentally handicapped gentleman.
He does seem like it in some way, but he seems like...
Or simple-minded, maybe you may say.
A bit simple-minded, but in some ways, so does Billy.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think...
in very different ways, though.
Goon, I easily would be friends with Goon.
Yeah, Goon is awesome. But, well, I'll get into what I'm going to say in a little bit. But he calls
I texted you this earlier. I fuck with Goon. Goon just wants to have dinner with his mom.
Oh, yeah,
and have his weird pets.
Yeah. He got, like, hamsters and shit.
He had hamsters, and I think he had...
like some lizard,
maybe. He had a guinea pig and, like, a lizard. And he was just, like, sleeping naked, and he had dinner with his mom later. You know? And he invites Billy. He's like, oh, Billy, you want to come have dinner?
Yeah.
Me and my mom? Because he just got out of prison. You got anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So come have dinner with us. You have free dinner.
Yeah, he's a good friend.
He's a good friend.
Billy, yeah, because he's like, no, Billy, you shouldn't bet the 10K.
He's like, oh, Billy, you don't have that money.
Yeah.
And he's like, shut the fuck up, I'm on the phone.
And he delivered the letters for him while he was in prison. And he gave him raisins.
Yeah,
he's like, did you get the raisins I sent you? But yeah, Billy calls him up. He's like, he tells him like, yeah, like that he's still gonna do his plan that he told him about to kill Scott Wood or whatever. And Goon's like, no, Billy, you shouldn't do that. He's like, Billy, don't do that, Billy. It's not good. And he tells him that don't call him Goon anymore. That he goes by Rocky now. And Billy's just a complete, like, he treats him, even though Goon is a good friend, he treats him like shit. He's like, yeah, you're fucking retarded. He says you're ugly. You know, hey, they call you Goon and you're ugly and retarded. Yeah. But this kind of speaks more to Billy. It's like, oh, you shit on Goon and you say like, oh, he's this, whatever, and nobody likes him. But what does that say about you? It's like, well, he's like your only friend. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like the only friend you have is the guy that nobody, you know. So it's like, it speaks more to Billy than it does to Goon, I think. You know what I mean? Yeah. The only guy who likes you is the one who's retarded. You know what I mean?
And it's also like, it's like the one, like, cause you know that thing people say, it's like, oh, like your boss shits on you, so you shit on your wife, so your wife shits on the kid, so your kid beats your dog, and like it trickles down. Yeah. It's like that. It's like his parents are shitty to Billy, so Billy has to find someone to be shitty to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And in a way, he's kind of similar to Christina Ricci's character, because even though Billy's like complete piece of shit to him, he's still his friend. Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't ever really get upset with him. Like, you see him get a little, he's like, don't call me Goon, I like Rocky now. He said, my new name is Rocky.
Well, I think, that's why I don't think he wasn't, like, super, stupid or anything.
Yeah,
like, at the end, he stood up for himself, too, and he's like, Billy, if you're going to keep being mean to me like that, I don't want to be your friend.
Yeah.
And he stands up for himself. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's like, oh.
I fuck with Goon. Goon's a goat. Goon's a goat.
I would be friends with Goon.
I mean Rocky.
Rocky, of course.
Rocky's a goat.
I'd be friends with Rocky. Yeah. It was really sweet at the end too. Well, we can talk about that.
Yeah. I agree. We can
talk about that
later. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that about Goon. I don't think we have to talk about the parent stuff too much anymore.
I think we kind of got through it. Yeah. We kind of got through it.
Well, they lie. She says I'm pregnant. That's what. It's not much to talk about there, but it's funny.
Well, yeah. Well, we can talk about Christina Ricci though. We didn't really talk about her in that scene too much. I mean, it's not too deep, but
she does it well. She does it pretty much exactly what he told her to do.
It's funny,
and he still gets mad about it later. Anyway,
it's funny to me that every time he wants her to do something, like he still gets pissed.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, because she's asking kind of for like directions on like what to say or what to do, and he's just like, just make me look good, just be a good girlfriend, and then she does it, and he's still mad.
Yeah. When they're leaving later in the on the car ride, he came mad. He's like, oh, they liked you, and it's like, I forgot exactly what he said, but it's like he's like mad that they were like very nice to her and still treated him like shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it's like she did exactly what you wanted him to do, what you wanted her to do.
She's not gonna like there's no way she could make your parents like you.
Yeah.
Like, she could just make you kind of look good a little
Yeah,
bit.
and
That's the best she can do.
That's probably what he wanted. He's like, oh, he thought, like, if I bring home this good girl with me, like, my parents will, yeah. And that was not the case, no. They just liked her. And then him, it's like, oh, he's still nothing to them.
Yeah.
And he takes that out on her.
But he did have one good point, which was like, because he mentions to her, I told him I have a job in the government. And she goes way too far.
He's like the head of the CIA.
Yeah, she was like, oh, Billy, I'm sure you know this, but he's like the best CIA agent.
Yeah.
All the girls wanted him, and I just... Yeah, so...
You see, the mom's not even paying attention though in that part. She didn't get. That's when she's looking at the phone. But the dad, he's like making some sus face. He's like,
what was really funny?
He's like, and he actually says later in the car, he's like, "You think my dad believed that?"
I thought that was really funny when he was like, "You think my dad believed that? He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
You think he believed that?" No, but it's just funny because I don't know, like, who the fuck would ever believe?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's funny.
It's very funny.
This movie is listed as a drama and a romance on
comedy
on Tubi.
Oh, I'm gonna say on Letterboxd it's drama, romance, comedy.
Drama, romance on Tubi. I don't think it says comedy. And then on Google and I guess Letterboxd as well, it says romance, romance, comedy, drama.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call this a comedy.
I think it is. I do think it's a dark comedy, but I definitely do think it's a comedy.
I do think it's funny. And it's obviously intentionally silly sometimes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it a comedy though. I don't know.
Maybe not. I would say it's a comedy, but I can definitely understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like a black comedy.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't. All those genres it does very well. So yeah.
But the thing is, it's like it does.
It's very funny to me. The movie. So it's funny, very funny to me.
But it doesn't make jokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but a lot of comedy don't. They're not like the MCU. Oh yeah. To show the MCU. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but like something.
I guess situational comedy, kind of. Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't really know. What do I know?
But it's kind of like...
I'm not a genre expert.
If I can mention this, I am.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Let me mention this. So, speaking of genre experts, Spider-Man 2, right?
Classic film.
So, we were talking about in the Spider-Man 2 video, or one of the Spider-Man Raimi videos, we were talking about how the Raimi movies, they're funny, but, like, they don't make jokes. Like, they're funny because of the certain circumstances and the characters.
Yeah.
It's more like that.
Yeah.
And they also mention, or what's his name? Frickin' Vincent Gallo.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, the director and actor of this great film. He was mentioning in the interview that he was compared to Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the comedy comes from that. It's like the characters are ridiculous.
But it's definitely a lot more overtly funny than a David Lynch movie, in my opinion.
I can see that.
Yeah, so. It's like Blue Velvet has moments that are funny, but I wouldn't call it a comedy. This I would definitely call more of a comedy, but I don't know. That's just my opinion.
I don't know.
So.
I just want to see. I don't see it as that. And there were some. I probably laugh at this movie less than you too. I think.
Maybe I don't know.
I
think it's hilarious personally.
Because even when I told you that the photo scene was like hilarious.
Yeah.
That was funny, but I also like was still kind of like serious feeling to me, I guess. So, even when stuff is funny, it's not like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing felt like it was like, the purpose of this is only to make you laugh.
No, I would agree with that, definitely. Yeah, I would agree with that.
So I guess that's why I lean towards, like, it's not really a comedy. But
yeah.
It's semantics. Interesting conversation, though. Anyways, Evan.
You want to talk about the bowling alley? Because that was after that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting moment, Evan.
Yeah. I like it.
I do like it, too.
He's good at bowling.
So what do you think about... He is good at bowling, isn't he? So you kind of get the indication they don't really mention it. And
bowling ball gif.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah. Funny. That's going to age well.
Yeah.
Evergreen.
It's already outdated. It's already fucking outdated.
Great. I can't wait for Disney to reference that in 5 years.
I know, right?
No.
Jesus, that would be disturbing.
Never do that. If you're out of the loop, I don't want anyone to feel left out on the joke, Evan.
Oh, yeah, go
it's
for it.
It's the gratuitous CGI Blender animation of a bowling ball fucking a bowling pin. You can look that up if you want. was a bit of a meme.
Yeah.
Probably 2 years ago by the time you listen to this. Anyways.
Yeah, when RNS is fucking huge and you're going back listening to our older episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to keep you in on the joke.
Yeah.
As it were. But yeah, the bowling ball scene was super interesting. Or the bowling alley scene. Pardon.
Yeah.
Because it's the first time he's like happy in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And
that guy's nice to him too.
Yeah,
the bowling guy. Yeah,
owner.
Yeah.
And
he paid for his locker.
They actually have like a nice kind of polite conversation.
Yeah, it's one of the only people he doesn't like just completely treat like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
so it's interesting. It's like maybe that was like a place of solitude for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of
where you're getting at. Yeah.
The sense of.
Yeah.
And they have like his favorite lane is 13, and they have his picture.
Mm-hmm. When he was a kid with the trophy.
His picture as a kid over the lane.
Yeah.
And obviously he has the locker there that's remained for 5 years.
Yeah.
And he has like a newspaper clipping of he has more shit in that locker than his parents do.
Yeah.
Of his or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His ball and
Yeah, definitely. So yeah,
his ball, several trophies, the newspaper clipping.
It was like a place of escape for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's good. Like I said, you see him. Vincent Gallo had to show off them skills. He shows him like rolling, getting the strikes 3 times in a row.
Good bowler.
And you get that scene that you mentioned where it's like, oh, maybe that gives a hint to who she was, possibly.
Oh yeah, so there's one part. Is it while he's in the bathroom or while he's bowling? Is it while he's bowling? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she just starts dancing.
To
the music, and she does like you're saying.
I love this scene, by the way. I just want to mention that I really like it a lot.
She is tap dancing. You know what it reminds me of?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll get into it in a second. But yeah, that's the one we were mentioning earlier. Where it might indicate she was a stripper, a dancer, or something, and she's kind of dancing around one of the pillars in the bowling alley. It reminds me, Evan, if I can bring up, as they say, on Britain C-SPAN, to be a great critic, Evan, you have to compare it to other movies.
Oh, of course.
You know what I'm
saying? Yeah, I do know you're the old guy.
So it was a Vincent Gallo interview, like we were saying. We were watching those before. Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm. The raindrops part?
No.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say.
It reminded me of kind of... Or what scene is it? It reminds me of the cake part.
The cake part?
Where he has, like, the terrible day,
and
then his neighbor brings him a piece of cake, and he has, like, a nice moment.
Oh. Yeah.
It's like the first time in the movie where he gets a break.
Well, just him bowling?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the dance thing.
No.
Oh, because you were like, the dance part, but then I had to convert it.
Well, no, because I wanted to finish the thought.
Oh, before we get into... Oh, okay,
you were mentioning that I had brought that up before, so I wanted to just say the context of that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, for sure.
But then that whole bowling... Yeah, the whole part where he's bowling, sorry. So I thought it was... But I thought the relationship with the front guy was interesting. Do you think the front guy, like, pities him?
Maybe.
Yeah. Because I was thinking that, like, he seemed... What's his name?
Well, I'm going to just guess that he probably has known him since he was a kid. Because the guy is older.
Yeah.
And
he has the picture of him as a kid on the thing.
Yeah.
So, probably.
Yeah. So... Maybe he knows his parents. Yeah.
So he's, like, nice to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I would... Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And it is kind of crazy that, like... the guy keeps a picture of him over the alley.
Yeah.
That he likes, and then his parents can't even find the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting too.
There's a little unexplored relationship there, possibly.
Yeah. little father figure.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, maybe. Definitely.
But it was cute too, the way that like the owner was like, because Billy says like, oh, any good bowlers, and he's like, oh, just you.
Yeah.
That's cute.
I don't know if I call it like pity. It had too much of a negative connotation. I think pity for me to just say, oh, he pities him, but possibly.
I'd say maybe pity.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's also the friend thing.
Yeah.
Because they like say they're friends
like,
back and forth in a kind of a weird way.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I can't remember the exact lines of dialogue, but they kind of call each other their
He's
friend.
like, oh, you're my friend. And then later at the locker, he's like, you're my friend, right? Billy says that to him. He's
yeah.
like, you're my friend, right? Yeah.
So,
It's kind of like wonky. I don't know if wonky's right, but it's like kind of unnatural. Like it'd be weird if I just walked up to you and be like, "You're my friend, right?" You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like a little needy.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, yes, yeah.
So, but I kind of agree that there's probably more of a genuine amount of like, he probably cares about it more than pity.
Yeah,
but it's kind of like from a pity type.
Yeah,
place.
I see what you mean. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it feels bad for him. And
yeah, I'm gonna say like pity sounds too negative.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. But I don't think you're wrong. Yeah, for sure. But the dance part, do you want to talk about that at all?
I don't really have much to say about it. Yeah, but you like it though, right?
Yeah, it's just I fuck with the song. Like that King Crimson song, good as fuck. And just like I don't know, it's weird. It's like one of the only like breaking the fourth wall is not a good way to put it, but like maybe fantastical or like dream.
I know
dream, you know what I mean? Yeah, because like obviously like the light didn't actually turn off and the spotlight went on her. It's like dreamlike sequence or whatever you want.
It's like the scene in Drive in the elevator.
Yeah, kind of.
Or
yeah.
or like La La Land.
Exactly. Yeah.
I wonder what that's called. I don't know.
But you get what I'm saying. Yeah, like
it's not breaking the fourth wall, but it's a very like hard right turn stylistically.
Yes, exactly.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like one of the only examples of that. That and like the ending, kind of. But this is much more so than the ending.
Well, yeah, because there's nothing because the ending completely indicates that it's like, okay, well, this is a fantasy.
Yeah.
And this part is kind
it's
of
like a mix of both reality and fantasy. Yeah.
I guess the way I interpret it is it just like she's kind of just.
Yeah.
She's kind of just in her own little world in that moment.
Yeah, but like I said, I just wanted to point that out because it's like I feel like it's there for a reason, but I'm not 100% sure why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is a unique, kind of distinct moment.
And then when you said it's like, oh, maybe she was, I was like, maybe. Like she was driven. Who knows? I've never really thought about it like that.
Maybe it could indicate that.
It's a very small moment, but
and I think
it's there for a reason, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think the movie kind of it invites you to read into that. Yeah. Because you do, like you said, we do know so little about her character, so it kind of invites you to read into it. But yeah, I don't know.
And with the spotlight on her too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Good catch, Dylan. I've never really thought about that. So.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
Well, you're saying like. You thought it was there for a reason. Did you have any other thoughts on it, like before?
No, I never really knew how to read that scene. I just knew it was there, and I liked it because it's like, oh, a really cool stylistic little moment. But it's like, but yeah, but I'm like, well, what's the purpose of it? And it's like, maybe it does give you more about her character than you think. I don't know. Yeah, who knows? But it still leaves room for interpretation, obviously. Well, obviously, a lot of room for interpretation.
Leave your Buffalo 66 dance scene interpretations in the comments.
Please do.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny, though, right after that, though, then he goes back to missing.
Yeah.
Then he misses the boy, and he's like, oh, yeah. And she laughs, and he's like, yeah, you think you're so good. Why don't you give it a whirl or whatever? And she does it, and she gets the strike.
Yeah.
That's a cute little moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the moment where he might have started warming up to her.
Yeah. A
little bit. And then he tries to kind of invites her, to use the word invite again.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of invites her to leave a couple times in the bowling alley in the Denny's.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you can stay here, but I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And she chooses to go with him. Interesting.
Well, no. One time in the Denny's, he's like, no, I'm leaving. And then he comes back. He actually just comes back for her. He's like, no, I want you to come.
Well,
yeah. When they get into that argument.
I think before they get into the argument, he says, like, I'm leaving, but you can stay here, but I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I think he says that before, and then they kind of argue, and he's like, well, fuck you.
Yeah, and he leaves.
Yeah.
But then he comes back for...
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He comes back for the bathroom.
But then he comes up, he's like, no, I want you to come. But he does come back for the bathroom first.
But that's interesting that the bathroom thing happens twice.
Yeah, he just runs across the street to go use the bathroom after the Denny's.
Like, he has kind of... he's introduced to interacting with her through the bathroom twice, I guess.
Yeah,
What do you think is the deep meaning of that,
He really needed to fucking piss.
He needed to piss. Yeah, he needed to piss. He should just start pissing outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would help.
Well, he does.
More.
Yeah, more. Just
Yeah.
in general. Yeah.
He seems to choose not to,
He tries not to. He tries to be respectful.
Oh, please.
Is after the bowling alley, because they do the picture thing. Do you want to talk about the photo booth?
Well, that was great.
Yeah.
No, so like I was saying earlier, that's like one of the funniest parts.
Yeah, they go into the photo booth at the bowling alley.
And like I said too, I can't remember.
That's the thumbnail for this video.
I guess.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see, Evan. Don't make promises you can't keep. But that would be a good thumbnail though.
Yeah.
Or them on the bed maybe.
Maybe.
I like that. But I can't, like I said, I can't remember the dialogue verbatim or anything like that, but the dialogue and Vincent Gallo's delivery and Christina Ricci.
Oh, yeah, this seems like genuinely it's iconic.
It was great.
Yeah. Span time.
That, like, did he just do that to be annoying?
I think so. Yeah.
Like, I think
we're
supposed to span time together. We're supposed to come out, you don't touch me, but we spend time
Yeah,
together.
I was gonna say.
I love when he says, like, you're the type of wife that doesn't touch me.
Yeah. No, he says we're the couple that doesn't touch each other. Yeah. So yeah, that's this seems like one of the big things about his intimacy problems. Like she tried to give him a kiss on the cheek because he's like, "Oh, we're supposed to be husband and wife, right?" And he's like, "No, don't touch me, don't touch me."
One of my favorite parts in the whole movie because
And he doesn't want her to be loose whatsoever. Like he's like. No, he wants them to look completely serious, not even smiling or anything.
Okay, so
because he starts making like goofy faces or whatever, and he's just like.
I think towards the end he starts crying.
No, he is. He
right?
is. Yeah, during that. Yeah.
Right.
Because I think he's thinking about like, oh yeah, he's like my last thing. I'm gonna well that, but like these are my last photos to my parents before I go kill myself. Yeah.
Which is fucking so crazy.
No, yeah, he is though. Definitely, yeah.
So sad. Which is why I said, like, that scene's funny.
Yeah.
But it's like...
What, serious?
It's not like the...
Yeah.
It's no What Are Those from Black Panther.
Of course not.
Yeah, it's, But, no, seriously, though, but, one of my favorite parts in the whole movie, right? Is in that scene. Because, where is this in the movie? Like, halfway?
Maybe a little past the halfway point.
A little past halfway?
Something like that.
For this whole time...
I think it's about an hour in. The movie's like hour 40, so... Yeah.
This whole time, she has not really questioned him.
No.
Not really. She kind of just goes along with everything. She's trying to make him happy.
But here's just like...
well, let me continue.
Yeah.
It's my funny part.
Of course. Sorry.
So, and then like you were saying, she does... Like, they go to the photo booth. He's like, okay, I'm going to use my $2. We're going to take some nice pictures for my parents. Make me look good again, or whatever the fuck. And then they take the pictures... And then he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she's like, she's trying to make cute faces and, like, touch him. And she's like, we're a couple that doesn't touch.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't touch. You look normal. We span time. You look normal. We're married. And whatever. And she's just like, you are so weird.
Yeah.
That was, like, unironically one of my favorite parts of the
movie. No,
movie.
it's great.
Because they waited so long for her to question him.
Yeah.
And then it's at a really good part.
It is.
Because you can... In real life, you can kind of understand if someone doesn't like being touched. Mm-hmm. But for him to be like, you have to pretend to be my wife.
Yeah.
I'm kidnapping you. You have to pretend to be my wife. Don't fucking touch me.
Yeah.
It's just really funny and satisfying to eventually see her acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Like, it takes so long. The movie feels like a fucking fever dream.
It does.
Yeah. Especially until that point. It kind of feels a little more normal after that, but before, like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Anything else to say about the photo scene?
No, just, I think, though, for the big highlights from it.
I do like him when he says span time. He's really worried about that $2.
Yeah.
I don't know where this money is coming from.
He got a low pocket change.
I guess in prison you can work.
Maybe
he had, like, money from prison. Because he's buying some junk.
Yeah. Nothing crazy, though. He didn't go crazy.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's buying food.
I think he bowled for free.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
Anyways, yeah, after this, though, he's ready to say goodbye to her. Because he thinks, oh, I'm going to go to the strip club now. Because Scott Wood, we find out he, like, owns a strip club now, or whatever. He's like, yeah, I guess. He gives her, like, the same way with Goon. He's like, yeah, give it to my parents. Deliver them to him. He's like, oh, I'll see you around. That's what he says there.
Yeah, he tells her send it to them every Christmas.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I'll see you around. And then he goes to call, does he call Goon again, or does he call up the... No, he calls, like, the phone directory thing, I think.
He doesn't call Goon till a lot later.
Again at the end? Okay.
A lot later.
I didn't know if he called him again, but... No, he didn't talk to him again till the end. But he calls the phone directory thing to find out the number for the strip club or whatever. Then he finds out, oh, Scott Wood's not even going to be in until, like, 2 a.m. So he just goes back with her. He's like, all right, I have some time to kill, I guess. And then they go to the Denny's. Did you want to talk about the Denny's part?
Well, of course.
Yeah.
Well, surely, of course I do, Evan.
Of course. Because we get the big reveal
at Denny's.
The big reveal. At Denny's.
Yeah, you do get the big reveal.
Yeah.
And like I said, I miss those times where you could smoke in a Denny's.
Yeah.
But
I don't really remember them, but
well, I miss them. I certainly do. No, I wasn't alive then either. Yeah. But that would be cool. But anyways, yeah. So they go in the Denny's. There's a very strangely dressed host. Yes. Very distracting looking host. But I did want to mention, and this is a good time to do it, they do kind of I don't know if you call it a tracking shot of them taking their seat. Yeah. That looked good. It did. The movie looked good in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I think the cinematography is great.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Especially for like a cheaper.
Yeah.
$1 million, but a cheap kind of indie film. Mm-hmm. And there was one part that stuck out to me too, like
I love his boots. I just wanted to say that.
I do like his boots. I think they're a reference to How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, definitely. So. But also just how they're dressed, the two of them, and kind of like he's wearing like the gray and the red, and then she's wearing like blue and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense. The
contrast. The contrast looked good.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, there was also one part I really liked where I was like, oh, they didn't have to do that.
And she had blonde hair and brown. But sorry, continue.
You're right. Continue. You're actually right about that, Evan. But there was one part in the bowling alley where they kind of show the like inner mechanism of the bowling pins, and it looked good.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, you didn't, that was kind of a little extra production value or whatever. You like go the extra mile.
Yeah, definitely.
They do that every once in a while where it's like, oh well, like.
I think his maybe his talent as a painter. I think you can see it a little bit. Like he has a good frame of reference for composition. I think. Eye. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
He knows composition, so I think maybe his career as a painter helped him with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah.
Good job, Vince.
Good job, Vince.
So, yeah, the Denny's part, they take their seat. She loves hot chocolate.
She loves hot chocolate. Does she not? Yeah, she does, because she asked for it more than once in the movie. Definitely.
Okay, cool. What do you think that means, Evan? Do you think it means she's a sweet girl?
Yeah. Yeah, she don't do coffee. She does hot chocolate. It's like a childlike innocence.
Aw.
Yeah.
Very sweet. So yeah,
she did ask for a fucking rum and coke though.
I like that too, because that was like the one part you get in the parents part where she kind of has to correct. She's like, oh, I meant ginger ale. Yeah. But yeah, they take their little seat at the Denny's, don't they, Evan?
They do.
They take their little seat at the Denny's. They order their hot chocolate and their coffee, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then, who is it? It's his crush,
Wendy Balsam.
When we just talked about the bowling scene, we didn't mention it. We mentioned it off the beginning of the episode, the beginning of the discussion.
Yeah, he has the picture of her in the locker.
And he mentions that like, oh, it's this girlfriend that I had to let go. I'm kind of a lone wolf, and I can't be held down. Uh-huh. That was a lie.
Yeah.
So the girl recognizes him. She's with her fiance or something or other, and she says, "Hey, didn't I know you in like 3rd grade?"
Yeah.
And she's like, matter of fact, weren't we in every class together or something? And she's like, oh yeah, you were always in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And she was, Billy says, I had a friend in that neighborhood. And she was like, you were always outside my door. Every time I looked out of my window, you're outside. Yeah.
Tell me if I'm reaching here.
Please.
But I don't think that
I'll tell you, Evan, if you're Christina reaching.
Yeah, please. I don't think that was her fiance.
Why not?
Just the way he's dressed and the way she's dressed, I feel like he might be like a married dude, like up to some such shit.
Like a call girl or something?
No, I wouldn't even say that, but he's just cheating. Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And also the way she acts versus the way he dresses.
Yeah, exactly.
I could see it.
You know what I mean?
I didn't think about it, but I could see it.
And he's like, hey, why don't you guys come sit over here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it might be like an affair or something like that. Yeah. And the way she's like, oh, she's so creepy Layla says that Wendy Balsam very creepy.
When she said that, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No, because I was like, I mean, I could see, like, if you were just a normal couple, and then a girl was acting like that next to you, you'd be like, oh, she's kind of like...
Yeah.
Weird. But, like, he made you be her name. And she's creepy? I mean, I guess you like him, but...
Yeah. Well, she just boosted him. She's like, oh, she's so creepy. You're too good for her. She done that to Billy, yeah.
He's such a sweetie pie.
Definitely a very male fantasy type shit for real. I wish a
girl was nice to me like that.
So, yeah. She's like, oh, no, you're too good for her, Billy. And then Billy kind of goes off. He's like...
He gets pissed.
Yeah, he's like, I could have had any girl I wanted. It's more his like, he's like, I could have had any girl I wanted. You know, I didn't have a girlfriend because there was no girls I liked. And then he's like, all girls are evil or whatever.
Well, that's fact.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, they're all bad. Like you. So let's go. And he's like, no, I'm staying. He's like, fuck you. And he just gets up and leaves. And you go to the bathroom. Yeah, we kind of went over all of this already.
Yeah, then we talked about that. So he goes across the street to the gas station. He can't go to the bathroom there, so he goes back to Denny's.
Yeah. Can we mention this, though? His breakdown in the Denny bathroom.
Oh, yeah, so he certainly does have a breakdown in the Denny's bathroom.
He just starts, like, crying.
So he does cry.
He's like, oh, I don't want to be alive. He's like, I don't want to be alive. I don't know. What do you think was, like, just seeing Wendy Balsam, did that, like, trigger this, you think?
Oh, sure.
You think so?
Probably. Yeah.
He's like, damn, my life, I ain't got shit in my life.
Yeah. No, that's true, because it's like, that was...
I think it's like it maybe been like the breaking point for him in that day, because like he had that terrible interaction with his parents, and then he saw like the girl he was in love with his whole life, just like she doesn't give a shit about him either. So you know what I mean. So it's that was kind of his breaking point. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. That probably that triggered that, and just like the fact that the girl he loved most. That he ever loved most didn't even know he was...
Yeah.
Like, barely knows who he is.
Yeah. Then he tries to be nice to Christina Ricci again after that.
Yeah, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like, oh, you want to go get a hotel?
It's a pretty, like... It's an interesting kind of portrayal of a... Like a... I don't know the word. Because they're not in a relationship, I guess. But
yeah.
Like, kind of... Like an abusive, like, partner or something. Like, the way they'll be, like...
Toxic AF.
They'll be terrible to you, and then they'll apologize, and then he kind of does that a little bit.
He's toxic.
Yeah, he's toxic. He's a bit toxic, isn't he? So then what do? They go
to the hotel.
And I like, you know what I like?
He's like, I need to take a bath.
You know what I like?
What do you like?
Can I mention something I like?
Yeah.
For once.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, this is definitely the first time I'm letting you do that.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. For once. You let me talk.
What is it?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. No, so I like, he says, and it's not even fucking important or anything, but he's like, before the Denny's thing, he's like, oh, do you want to go lay down?
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm just kidding.
That's very, like, that's something I say.
Do you want to go lay down?
Yeah. That's something, like, to, like, my, you know, ex-girlfriends and my little, you know, girlfriends and things. Like, I don't...
Don't give them game, dude. Don't give RNS listener game.
I'm
just joking. I'm fucking joking.
No, but it's just like, I don't know, it's just like I'm just a lazy piece of shit like Billy, you know. I'm just like, do you want to go lay down?
Well, he tells her, I'm just kidding, I don't want to lay down with you.
It's so funny too, because you rarely see someone like this in a movie, let alone like the main character, but someone that's like such a fucking liar. Like, because I've met people, like, especially as a kid, really.
Yeah.
Not so much, you know, now, but like someone will be I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like, why would you be kidding about having like fucking like Mario Brothers 4 early or whatever? Like, why would you be kidding about that? That's
awesome.
You're not laughing. I'm not laughing.
I'm laughing.
Who's laughing?
Who would ever lie about fucking Mario Kart 4 or whatever?
Thank you. So yeah, sorry, we had to take a little break. But yeah, the lying was a huge thing in the whole movie. But I was really just talking about specifically like saying you're kidding as an excuse is like weird. I never did that.
Yeah.
It's just such a flimsy excuse for a lie.
But yeah, They go to the motel.
Oh, don't they?
Yeah, and he's like, I need to take a bath. And she's like so insistent on wanting to like go in the bath with him. Like we said, very, very like oh she she loves him despite him being a piece of shit. She wants to get in the bath with him despite him saying no. Like
I thought the cut was really cute.
This is really crazy.
Yeah, I like the yeah, I agree though.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, that's not real. But I thought the cut was really cute when she's like knocking on the door to come in.
Yeah.
She convinced him to come in.
Yeah.
She sits on the edge of the tub and she's like, "Oh, you look like a little boy." That reminded me of
Yeah.
Amy. She's like, "You look like a little boy in the tub." And then it was really funny because you know he's being himself. You know how that Billy. And
Yeah, that good old Billy.
And he's like, "Yeah, you can't get in the tub." And then like it cuts to an exterior shot of a car passing by, and then it cuts back inside, and she's in the tub with him. It was really cute.
Yeah, and more than him not wanting her to touch him, and he leaves his clothes on. At first, he gets in with just his underwear, and then when she gets in, he puts his like tank top on, and she's naked. Yeah, but he's like he's like covered up. He said, "Can you get out first?"
Yeah.
And then they have a sweet little moment. They lay in the bed together.
Oh, don't they?
Yeah, and it's like very romantic. The music starts playing. This kind of bit like that dancing moment too. How it's played up.
I guess so.
A little bit with the music and everything.
Yeah.
And the way it's cut, I don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah, they hold each other and they have a sweet little kiss.
Oh, what a sweet
moment.
moment.
They finally embrace each other. Isn't that sweet?
Oh, what a sweet moment.
But despite him
However.
finally having some love, he has not forgotten that he has to fucking kill Scott Wood. He must kill Scott Wood.
He didn't lose sight of killing Scott Wood. No, but I thought that was like a bit of a moment of tension for me at least, because he wakes up and it's 2:06.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, he gets there at 2. And you don't know really you can't tell what he's doing for a moment. So I was like, oh, is he about to just lay back down?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Forget his little troubles.
Yeah, but no, of course not.
No.
He will not forget that. He has to kill Scott Wood.
Puts on his cool jacket.
Yeah.
You know? That's how I know I need a cool jacket, right? Because all great, Sigma pro tags have a cool jacket.
Yeah.
Such as Drive.
Scorpion
such
jacket.
as Taxi
Blade Runner
Driver,
2049.
Such as Blade Runner. Such as
Buffalo 666.
Anyways, yeah, I just want a cool jacket.
Yeah.
But I like the way he puts the jacket on when he gets up, and she's like, "Where are you going?"
Yeah, and he's like, "This is a sweet little moment too here. I like this.
It's a good moment."
Yeah, because he's like, "Yeah, I'm just going to get coffee." So he's lying there. He's like, "Oh no, I'll be back in 5 minutes." She asked for a hot chocolate. Then she asked for a hug. And he's like, "No." He said, "Don't start trouble." He said, "Don't start evil." He says, "Don't start evil." I mean, there's genuinely a moment where you're like, it's not really a compliment. That genuinely is like, it's funny, but at the same time, like, is it really? Where he's like, "No, don't start trouble." He said, "Don't start evil," because it's like so serious.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
He's like so averse.
Yeah. Then he calls it evil. It's
but that's really sweet too, because he's like, "No handshake," and then he pulls him in and hugs him.
Yeah, and it's sweet
and he embraces her. Back.
He holds her. Yeah.
But it's really good too, because the dialogue isn't like, it doesn't feel like this was all scripted out necessarily. They're just kind of talking back and forth, and this is she's kind of getting more comfortable with like prodding him and like challenging him. You know, because it's not about like looking good for his parents anymore. It's kind of just she likes him and
yeah, for sure.
Very cool. But yeah, I just like the way that she insists on getting in the bathtub. She insists on giving me a hug, and sweet.
Yeah, it was sweet. Like I said, when he just like, he finally kind of embraces her there.
Yeah.
He says he'll be back in 5 minutes, and she's like, "I love you," and he closes the door. Also that's a bit ridiculous, but whatever.
Well, what? There was other moments in the movie that were kind of like that.
She's like, "Oh, you're the nicest guy and the most handsome."
No, not that. Not that. No. There was some where someone says "I love you" like really fast or something. I don't know.
I can't remember.
Or maybe when he finally opens up to her about what's her name?
Wendy Balsam.
Wendy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't even mention that part. When they first come to the motel, he's like, "Yeah, I just stalked her." Basically, I was like, I was in love with her, but yeah, and nothing ever happened with that.
So that's the whole thing. The whole thing I was saying, like, where one of his lies is kind of like laid all out.
Yeah.
For you, where he finally opens up to her.
Yeah.
In that way. First,
mm-hmm.
And then it's interesting because he kind of opens up to her first, and then he embraces her physically, like after. That's interesting.
Yeah. It works well.
It was almost like a like a phobia, like exposure.
Yeah.
Like he was able to be intimate with her, like intellectually, or like maybe not emotionally or whatever.
Yeah, emotionally.
Talking,
I think it's good. Yeah.
And then physically, like embracing her, because that's like part of not embracing people physically. I feel like is an extension of his
emotional distance.
Yeah,
for sure, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, he goes up to the club. He's gonna kill Mr. Scott. No, we didn't. We had to talk about his phone call with Goon also, because this is also a sweet moment. He apologized to Goon for being a piece of shit friend, basically.
Well, I did want to mention one more thing before they I really like that dialogue. Like I said, when he's leaving, and he's saying that like I'm just gonna go get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, "You want a hot chocolate?" And I don't know. It's a really like you're saying the movie about the comedy thing. That part wasn't funny to me at all. I didn't really think that was funny. And I thought, I don't know, it was really sad, like, because he was actually being nice to her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And it is a lie to spare himself, but he's also trying to spare her. Most of his lies are pretty selfish.
Yeah,
or
definitely.
Like nonsensical, but he's actually like kind of trying to spare her feelings, but also, of course, like his own. Like he can't tell her he's gonna kill somebody, but I don't know. Like that whole scene was pretty tense and like real. I don't know. I like that whole part.
Me too.
I just kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But also, like I was saying, just the way the dialogue's kind of. I don't know, the way they're like trying to convince each other.
Yeah.
And he just still won't give up the lies and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, I really like that. But anyways, yeah. Then he walks across the street. And one thing I was thinking when he walks across the street from the... So I guess he picked the hotel because it's across the street
across from the strip club.
Where he can kill the baseball player or the football player. I actually thought about that. I was like, did they make him only at the club at 2 a.m. so he could walk at 2 a.m. There would be no one on the street, so they could film him walking across the street?
Maybe.
I don't
know.
For some reason, that was like the first thing that came to my head because I was like, this is like a pretty.
I was thinking more of it as like the owner coming towards the end of to close up. You know what I mean?
Well, but
for the end of the night.
But the thing is, like, I don't think he like ran anything.
Well,
like I think he just went there to party.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter. But it was just the first thing that popped into my head because I was like, this is the type of movie where they would buy this time on the street.
Yeah.
Like.
Who knows? Maybe.
I don't know, I could be wrong. I just thought that was like a little thing that popped in my head. But yeah, he walks across the street to the club, and then he goes and calls right before he walks into the club. He calls Goon on the payphone, like you were saying. So do you want to talk about that?
I was just say he just apologized for being a piece of shit friend, and it's a sweet moment. I really like that part a lot.
Yeah, it's a really sweet moment.
And I like that Goon is like, no, Billy, I don't want your stuff. Like you'd rather just. Because he's like, he knows that Billy's gonna go and fucking kill Scott Wood, and then probably. I don't know if he knows that Billy's gonna kill himself, but actually no, he mentioned him earlier that he would kill himself after.
He did.
But he's like, no, Billy, I don't want your stuff. Like, I don't know, Goon's a good guy for real. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's clearly not like.
He's like, that's your stuff, Billy. Why are you gonna give it? I don't want your stuff.
Like, he's not even like. I guess you could say like he's a little. He doesn't seem slow, and
He's very similar to her, though, where he's unselfish as well. Yeah. Like, he's like, I just want to be your friend, Billy. I don't want your shit or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want your stuff. Don't go do bad things, Billy. Yeah. Like, what the hell? Like, he's smart enough to know what he's doing.
Yeah,
and, like, what the emotion of, like, why he would give his stuff away.
Yeah.
You know, he's not stupid. But yeah, he's a good friend. And you see him there in his fucking tidy whities with his guinea pig. I like Goon. He's a very endearing character. And I like how, it's like very different for Billy to kind of apologize. And I think kind of himself, because like I said, she met him on like his worst day, kind of, which is ironic because he just got out of jail, like, you know what I mean? But it's like the worst time she could have met him, and then he has to drag himself like even further down to kind of realize, you know, like see the error of his ways.
Yeah.
Kind of change a little. He has to drag himself even further down.
Yeah.
To see that, which I thought is interesting. And so he, he talks to Goon, and I really like how he's like, oh, Billy, like, if you're going to be mean to me like before, like, I don't want to be your friend anyway. And, I like when he apologized. He's like, oh, no, I meant to call you Rocky.
Yeah,
like, that's so sweet. I like that. Because he was very mean to him earlier, like we were saying, and he was like tearful, like, you sent me the raisins.
Yeah,
that was really funny.
Yeah.
That was really fun. I didn't find anything funny about, like, when he left with Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
But I did think that was funny.
Yeah.
The raisins thing. He's like, you sent me the raisins. It's such, like, a small thing. But...
Yeah, but it's like, again, when he has nobody in his life who gives a fuck about him, it's like...
It's something.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But I really like how, like, Goon's reaction to it was all, like, Goon's reaction to Billy bringing up the raisins was really funny, because he's like, yeah, Billy, I sent you the raisins. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a good moment. And, should we get into the club now?
Yeah.
If you had anything to say about Goon. This part's interesting to me. So, yeah, he's gonna go and kill Scott Wood, and it's like, you see, like, the whole strip club or whatever, you see all the naked chicks dancing, and he goes in, and then it becomes kind of a moment of fantasy. It's like he kind of imagines what's gonna happen. So you see him kill Scott Wood and then shoot himself. It's all played out very slow. Like, you remember, it's like kind of like played in like frames, like him falling and all that.
But it was kind of experimental, I guess, in a way, or like it didn't completely work for me. I think they kind of almost had it in a way. Just in the technical sense.
Yeah.
I know they were, like, obviously I can tell what it, like, was going for in terms of, just, like, the slowing down, like you're saying, like, the not quick, but, like, the slow frames and, like, the slow motion kind of deal. But there was an element of it for me where I was like, that's clearly, like, plastic on the side of his head.
Oh, yeah, like the blood and all that.
And just, like, they're trying to stay as still as possible.
Yeah.
So
it's goofy also his face when he goes.
Well, I like that. I like that.
He blows his brains out. He's like.
But the makeup also on what's his name?
Scott Wood.
Count Bakula.
Yeah, Count Bakula. Scott Wood.
What's that guy's name? Scott Bakula? Isn't there a guy named Scott Bakula?
I have no idea.
Anyway, Scott Wood. The wound on his forehead just looked like fucking expo marker. Like, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that crude, but it was clearly not deeper than the makeup.
Yeah.
Or like, there wasn't even like a hint of depth. Like, it was kind of just like blood.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was just like blood makeup on his head.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That kind of looked
goofy,
a little shitty, but yeah.
Yeah, and then you get like his funeral where it's just his parents, and neither one of them give a shit. Like, she's listening to the football game.
Neither of them want to be there.
Yeah.
His dad's like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Like, let's leave.
And she's just listening to the football game.
game.
And then you get kind of a cut back to reality. I like this part a lot because it's like, and he just walks out of the club and decides not to do it. So it's like, I don't know, like, why exactly he had this moment of clarity. I guess maybe because those last moments he had with Goon and Christina Ricci. But it's like, it's kind of like, oh, if I kill myself now, it's kind of, my life is all kind of for nothing. Because it's like, the two people who maybe did care about me, I'm kind of fucking them over, and then it's like, all I have left, it's kind of like letting his parents win in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He kind of realizes, like, I don't know how to word this, but like, if I kill myself now, it's just like, I'll be exactly what my parents thought I was, I guess. I don't know if that's a good way to put it. But
I agree with you. I think you're right, but I also think it's kind of like he was living for his parents.
Yeah.
Until like today.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he kind of has a moment of realization. Like you're saying, he's thinking about Goon and Christina Ricci, and the poor innocent man's life
Yeah.
he has in his hands. And he's kind of thinking like, well, I can live for myself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to live for my parents. I can live for myself.
Yeah,
so.
who don't even give a shit about me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why? I just shouldn't give a fuck about them.
Yeah.
Like, don't be dead and still don't send them letters.
Yeah.
Like, don't have anyone send them. Don't send them letters. Just go be happy with your friends.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't know if this is a good time to mention the Northman, but I had mentioned this to you earlier. Yeah.
I feel like it's a wonderful time to mention the Northman.
Jesus Christ, is that real?
I played that up.
Oh my god.
The first bit was real.
What the fuck?
No, sorry.
I was like, are you okay?
The
Do
first
you need
bit was
help?
real.
Do we need to call the ER?
The first cough was real.
What was I saying? Yeah.
Northman.
I feel like it had like the opposite ending of the Northman.
Right.
Because in the Northman, it's like he has kind of the chance to go like with Anya Taylor-Joy's character. He has the chance to like give up his revenge mission and like go live his own life and be happy.
But they're both revenge movies, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
But they have a different
ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
Make a different choice.
Yeah. For him, it's like he decides like, no, I'm gonna follow through on my revenge, and he kind of uses like the life he could have with Anya Taylor-Joy's character kind of as a excuse. He's like, no, they're gonna come and get you if I don't follow through with the revenge.
So yeah, he's using it's
like protecting his children and her.
Yeah, because he like
that's what I was just saying to Joey. We were talking about the movie, and I was saying like, I feel like he used it as an excuse to go back on his to finish the revenge thing. Because what are the chances of them actually like fucking finding like back then? You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like the chances are very low. It was just kind of like, oh, I have kids, so I had to protect them. So I actually do have to go back and fucking kill him. You know what I mean? That's how I read it, anyways.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Like he's using what could have been his out for revenge as to justify his revenge.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
So in the Northman, he decides it ends with him going through with the revenge, and then in Buffalo 66, he's like he decides to choose the life he could have instead. Yeah, it's the good ending. Yeah. Huh. So he decides not to kill Scott when he walks out of the club, and he calls Goon. He's like, "No, you can't have my stuff, Goon." But it's not in a mean way. He's just like, you know what, I'm not doing this.
No, but what I really like about that second phone call too, right, is the tone. Like, he's still kind of an asshole.
Yeah, but it's not like mean.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like, because obviously, as his friend, he knew. Okay, sorry, I have to backtrack a little bit, right? Okay, so the first phone call is very raw. Yeah.
Reach is a completely unfiltered asshole.
It's completely... Yeah. No, I mean, the first phone call... Sorry, not the very first phone call.
His second call with Goon.
Okay, so...
Where he apologizes.
So, yeah, he goes to the strip club to kill Count Bacula or whatever. Yeah. And then he calls Goon. He says, Goon, I'm going to kill myself. You can have my stuff. Goon says, no, don't kill yourself. I don't want your stuff. And it's like I was saying, it's very raw. I mean, he's pretty raw the whole movie.
Yeah.
But he's very raw in the sense of, like... He's even more raw now. It's, like, emotionless in a way. Mm-hmm. Like, he's just being real. Yeah. Like, he's just like, all right, you know what I'm about to go do. You can have my stuff. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. And then, when he comes back and calls Goon again, his personality comes back. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, you can't have my stuff. And I met a great girl today. My girlfriend's waiting for me. I have a great day ahead of me. Like,
if you take my stuff, I'll karate chop you in the head.
Chop you in the head. His personality comes back.
Yeah.
But he's like much
happier. Is that a way to put it? Yeah, like he is happier, but
kind of like what we were saying about the parent. Like the weight of his parents is kind of gone.
Yeah.
And I feel like in that moment he's like, okay, I can put that behind me now.
Yes.
Like I don't need to blame someone else. Mm-hmm. I can kind of work forward and have a way forward.
Yeah, it's a lot nicer.
Yeah. And I love the line too where he's like, you know what, Goon, I'll call you tomorrow.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm gonna go hang out with my girlfriend. I'll call you tomorrow.
I like that line a lot.
Yeah, like he's still. I think that also indicates to me it's like, the same thing with like, you choose your family kind of thing. It's like whoever's good for you. Choose the people that actually care about you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So he's keeping Goon around. You stay good friends with Goon.
And he goes and gets the cookie. I like that part too.
Yeah, I love that part.
Because he's like you say, he's just in this part. It's like the only time he's not an asshole at all. Because he's like super nice. he's like, he buys a cookie for the one guy. He's like, yeah, this is for your girlfriend. And then he gives the guy who's selling the cookies, he gives him an extra cash tip for like no reason. It's just the clerk. He's like, yeah, he's like,
take the cookie for your girlfriend, and he's like, hey, you take this for I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then it's really nice.
Yeah.
But it's I really like.
It's like you say, he has that personality again, but it's like his demeanor, I guess, maybe has changed.
Yeah, his mood, his demeanor is different, but his personality is comes back or is still there. Because like I said, he like when he's about to go do it, his personality kind of leaves.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's good.
Yeah, I agree. Clever. I agree. Yeah. And he gets his heart cookie and the hot chocolate. Oh, you didn't forget the hot chocolate. And you get that last little shot of them just laying together in bed. Aww. Sweet movie, and there we go. It ends. Now Buffalo 66.
Oh, what a good movie.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Very good.
Oh, what a sweet movie.
Very sweet.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what do you
really rate? Wait, sorry.
What do you rate Buffalo 66 again?
Oh, 10 out of 10.
Okay.
3 out of 10. Yeah. Well, we mentioned it kind of throughout the whole episode, but my only real critique with this movie is, well, yeah, their relationship is like super unrealistic, and it is like it's like the male fantasy type thing. Yeah. That's really my only critique with the movie. But like I said, I almost see it in like a fairy tale type way. So I don't know.
There's an element of, I think this is kind of true for every movie.
Yeah.
There's an element of the movie that's abstract.
Yes, definitely.
You can't. It's impossible to make a movie that's 2 hours that's completely realistic.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
So
I agree.
It does what it can to tell the story it needs to tell, and I mean the relationship is, like, lack of a better word, problematic.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's an element of every movie that's abstract in a way, and you can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what I say, and just like also how it's shot, it's like very dreamlike. I don't know if that's a good way to put it. How it looks the entire movie, and I feel that kind of lends itself to like the fairy tale aspect. Yeah. Maybe I'm reaching, but that's how I feel about it, anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And it was interesting too because I very rarely do I think stuff is like romantic and cute.
Mm-hmm.
But there were several times during this movie where I was like, "Aw."
Yeah.
I really was.
No.
Like when she pulls him in for the hug, when they do the handshake, and the bathtub part, and then like the very end.
Yeah.
And the heart cookie thing. Because the whole, and also it kind of does a good job leading you into that, because the rest of the movie is pretty harsh. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Pretty
harsh or like tense, and then at the end you kind of get this release of like.
Yeah, definitely.
It starts to uplift you at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Great movie.
Good movie.
I like when he's talking to the cashier. He's like, easy. He put it in the stuff. That was funny to me.
No, that's a great part. It's a very cathartic ending.
Yeah, I agree.
And I wasn't quite sure how it was going to go.
Did you think he killed himself? Did you?
During that part, I was just kind of still watching it.
Yeah.
I wasn't... When he shot him, and then, like, the weird... I don't know even the word for it.
Yeah.
Like, the pictures and the still and the slow motion shit. Mm-hmm. I was kind of just waiting to see what happened still.
Okay.
Because I was like... I wasn't like, oh no, like he killed himself. Yeah. Like I was just like, all right, where's this going?
Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't quite sure.
Okay.
I wasn't like, more when I was really questioning it was when he was like first walking in, and then I kind of just stopped. I was like, all right, let's see where this goes. Like once he shot him, I wasn't quite sure. But it made me happy, and it did a good job to me too of like kind of I don't know the word. Fucking playing with your expectations, I guess. At least for me. Because like I said, the first good chunk of the movie is pretty dark. It's pretty grim.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Any movie from the 90s I don't know anything about. Maybe he does kill himself in the fucking football player. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like the bad ending of Clerks where Dante dies.
I prefer that. But it made me happy. No, it reminds me too, if I can bring up Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Of course.
Again.
Of course.
You mind?
Oh, no.
You don't mind?
No, I don't mind.
Okay, just making sure. we mentioned this in the No Way Home review and in the Spider-Man 2 review, but there's sometimes in movies, I mean, not just Spider-Man, but just for frame of reference if you listen to the podcast before, there's some movies where I just enjoy, like, a character's relationship with someone, or, you know, a certain character, and then, like, in Spider-Man 2, for example, you kind of, you know, I kind of like the Dr. Octavius, like, Peter Parker relationship, and I'm kind of like, oh, damn, I wish there was, like, I want to see a movie where they're friends, like, where they're just allies. Like, I like their relationship in the first bit. Or there's lots of movies where I think, like, I want more of this, like, without the conflict. I don't know. It sounds silly.
Yeah.
But, this movie kind of scratched that itch. And not a lot of movies get me to a place where I'm like, oh, man, like, I wish this was this way. And then the surprise is that it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the happy ending was almost a surprise.
Yeah.
It was almost a twist.
Yeah. I agree.
That makes sense.
Agree.
So
Especially
cool.
since we watched such dark shit on RNS Podcast. It was nice to have a little sweet ending.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's true.
No, but does that make sense to you?
No, yeah, it does. It does, yeah.
Like, and not that fucking Spider-Man is, like, super dark or anything. But there's a lot of times where it's like,
no, genuinely, I think a lot of the stuff we've watched and talked about on RNS Podcast, the ending isn't that.
no, not really.
Yeah, I think most of the time it's not.
Not happy?
It's not, like, cathartic, I guess you could say.
I mean, we've done 4 Spider-Man movies. One of them
those are all amazing.
One of them had a dark ending, I guess.
Well, I guess it's not similar to this where it's like, well, in, like, Spider-Man 1, it's like, yeah, I can't have what I want. Drive, it's I can't have what I want. Itchy the Killer, of course, that's some other shit. Audition, very, you know what I mean? This one, like, a movie where it has, like, a genuinely sweet ending.
I'm just thinking,
at the
like, I don't know, Shrek, Back to the Future.
Well, yeah, you're right.
That's good mix.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean, though. We do...
Yeah.
more than...
Blade Runner 2049, I die on the steps.
More than...
Well, Blade Runner for 20, he gets a me and daughter, though. That's kind of
nice.
sweet moment, yeah, there.
Yeah, more than... We watch more dark movies than Movie Club, John Campea, for sure. Certainly. But,
I don't know what I'm saying, sorry.
No, I just wanted to shine a little light on that, Evan, because I don't know. I guess I don't hear people talk about that kind of thing too much. Where it's like, oh, like, these two characters hate each other for most of the movie. I wish there was more of it, or whatever. So, but I guess this isn't really about the characters, just like the characters going from good to bad or something like Spider-Man, but it's like it's similar in the tone, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Thank you, Vincent Gallo.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina Ricci.
It's like a double. What's the word?
Double Whopper.
It's like a double Whopper of a movie. No, it's like oh goodness, what is it called?
Triple Whopper.
I gotta stop doing these after drinking. What is it called?
Big Mac.
What's it called when you're like anti-establishment or something? Counterculture.
I guess, yeah.
It's like a counterculture ending.
Yeah.
It's like a double counterculture ending. You know what I mean?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've fucking rambled on about that too much, but I don't know. It's something that I haven't had the chance to talk about, I guess. It's interesting. Topic.
Counterculture.
Double counterculture.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely Vincent Gallo just in general.
Right?
Yeah, so
it
works
like,
for him.
It's like those 70s movies.
Because he's counterculture, but also he's against the counterculture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's just him in general.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that, Vincent. I do. Because I mentioned before as well, like, I hate irony. I do.
I love ironic memes.
In most of its form, I hate irony. And I love the memes. No. But I hate irony in entertainment and drama and shit like that. I don't know. Superhero movies. A lot
For
of
sure,
irony.
for sure, yeah.
Know.
Especially nowadays, if you know what I'm saying.
And for the most part, counterculture is just irony.
I'd have to think about that.
I wouldn't. Or at least, I don't know.
I don't know what you mean by that. I'd have to think about it.
Okay, so what? Okay, this isn't about that. Fuck that, right? So erase that.
Okay.
But anyways, I wanted to mention this as well. Like, you know those, like, really dark... I guess Taxi Driver's an easy one to point to. But there's also, like, I don't know, like Planet of the Apes or whatever. Where there's, like some 70s movie where there's just, like, a dark fucking ending. Like, whether the movie was dark or not.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, the ending's really dark. Well, I guess Taxi Driver's not a great example. I don't know. Anyways. Because that's kind of vague. My point is, though, there was a lot of 70s movies like that where there were, like, super dark endings. This feels like the opposite of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a surprise happy ending.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I kind of mean, because those were like counterculture movies in the 70s.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And then this is like a counterculture kind of movie to that.
Yeah, definitely. No,
You know what I
I
mean?
completely understand what you mean, yeah.
And
Well, it's even though it's happy, it still wouldn't fit into like the traditional Hollywood kind of movie or whatever.
yeah, it's just like the fucked up part is just at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? Instead of at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you put into words kind of why I really connected with Vincent Gallo.
When
When we watched like the interviews
Yeah.
and watching this movie.
He's just himself.
Like because like he's like fuck counterculture but also fuck the mainstream.
Yeah.
It's like just fuck everyone.
I feel that.
Yeah,
I can
man.
definitely really. I think that's why I like him so much too. Like genuinely.
He's an awesome guy.
Yeah.
Really interesting, cool guy. Do you have any cool, interesting like Vincent Gallo stories or quotes or like things he's done to people?
He signed my Blu-ray.
Oh, he said you're Blu-ray.
No, we talked about that
He
already.
did do that to you, didn't he?
What did we not mention at the beginning?
Well, we didn't really go into depth about anything that he's really said. That got him like blacklisted and stuff. Did you have any cool memories of that?
He shit on so many people, like Quentin Tarantino.
Well, he called Quentin Tarantino. He was like, he kind of implied like, oh, he smokes too much.
Yeah, and also he called him a collage artist, which I kind of agree with, even though I like Tarantino.
What does that mean? Like he's just visual?
No, it's like
What is collage artist?
he's not really original. Like he just takes
he
for everything.
cherry picks from other shit.
Yeah, exactly,
Which he
and which
absolutely
Tarantino
does.
is known for. Yeah. I don't know. He spit on Spike. Spit on.
So what did he say
shit
about
on
Spike Lee? You didn't say that.
No, not Spike Lee. Spike Jones.
Spike Jones.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Spike Jones.
Not Spike Lee.
Different person. Yeah, so he's like, oh, he's a rich asshole, and he's not intelligent.
He was
basically.
very nice to Paris Hilton.
No, he liked Paris Hilton.
He does.
See, it's shit like that. So he's like, everyone in Hollywood would be like, oh, Paris Hilton, that stupid bitch or whatever. But he's
Especially at the time of the interview.
yeah, back then. But he's like, no, Paris is amazing. You know what I mean?
He was like, she's a great girl.
Yeah.
No, because Howard Stern was like, oh, I want to fuck that bitch.
Yeah.
I fuck that bitch. And he's like, yeah, she's very sweet.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Or the same with Bush and Daughters. Or Barbara Bush.
Yeah, and he was like,
specifically.
Howard Stern was like, oh, would you fuck Barbara Bush? and he was like, I'd go on a walk with
Yeah.
her. I'd take her on a walk.
So, yeah.
He reminds me a bit of Norm Macdonald in that way.
Norm Macdonald.
I love Norm Macdonald.
Norm, he's okay.
I love Norm.
I'm going, Norm cool.
And he's kinda,
Rest in peace, Norm.
He leans a bit right.
Oh.
You know, as it were.
Yeah.
And he kind of... It's really fucking funny who he chooses to hate and like. Like, Norm tells this story about when he got fired.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was on David Letterman. And David Letterman was like, or whoever's show it was, they were like, oh, well, like, the executive, he's a piece of shit, right? And Norm was like, oh, he's a stand-up guy. But he just had the story of getting fired, you know, and he got kind of fired. He got fired for being unfunny.
Yeah.
And shit like that. And everyone wanted him to be, like, an asshole or, like, make fun of the CEO. And he's like, no, he's a stand-up guy. He's a good guy. But then there's, like, other comedians that he'll just shit on. It's like him. It's like Vincent Gallo. Because I remember Norm said about one guy, I think it was, like, Stephen Perry. Is that from Friends?
Matthew Perry?
Matthew Perry?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, people at the time... So he used kind of his friends... I think his friends' fame to go into stand-up.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like... people were like, oh, he's so clever. And Norm was like, oh, is he good at math?
I don't get it.
Like, you couldn't be clever at comedy. Funny.
I don't really get it.
No, because he was like... It was people being like, "Oh, have you heard like is that his name, Matthew Perry?"
I think.
It's like, have you heard Matthew Perry? He's so sharp. He's so smart. And he's like, "Oh, is he good at math or something?" I don't know. Fucking Norm is funnier than I am.
Oh, sorry.
But the point is, he's not. He would shit on comedians if he just didn't like them. But then, like, some mainstream ass person, like an executive,
yeah,
you'd be like, "No, he's a good guy."
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
It's like Paris Hilton versus like
Yeah.
other mainstream directors.
Yeah.
You know, it's very similar. I don't know, I like that kind of figure. I had on a rainy screen on my big TV, and it was a 3-hour long video, and it just ended.
The relaxed guy.
I think it might be time for us to look at that handsome face.
Yeah, I'm running out of steam. I can't lie.
First.
Oh.
Look at that handsome face.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
He's a handsome guy.
I'm not thinking it's him.
Oh goodness. No, we're done. We're wrapped up. Good movie.
Good movie.
Good movie. We'll see you next week for Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh yeah, Wreck-It Ralph next week. That's not a joke.
Next week?
Genuinely are doing
Next week?
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. I don't have Disney Plus anymore, so.
We'll watch together. You want to watch together?
Sure. Or I'll rent it or something.
Cool. I have Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I guess I just, I'm a little bit more well off than Evan. So
you are, definitely.
I can kind of afford the premium streaming services. I'm not really used to driving stick.
Yeah, you drive luxury cars.
I drive luxury cars, so I have automatic, but...
You drive a Ford, what is it?
Expedition?
Yeah.
Don't dox me.
That's not doxing.
Don't dox me.
Oh, I'll cut it out.
What I drive.
I'll cut it out.
No, you can leave it. I'll leave it. But thank you for listening. If you got this far, please leave a like, and we appreciate you listening as well. Leave a subscribe for Wreck-It Ralph next week.
I'm hype.
I like to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
You know, I've been enjoying doing like movies we like, but we can mix it up.
Yeah.
Mix it up.
So you don't like Wreck-It Ralph?
No, I'm saying movies we like, but we don't have to do like a indie drama.
Oh yeah.
Every week.
Yeah.
So we'll do a Disney cartoon.
Yeah.
I like that one. It's a good one.
Yeah. Don't be like fuck Disney. Yo, let's do Wreck-It Ralph.
All right. Sabasuke, okay. Like, it's a good movie. I promise you, it's a good movie. Leave in the comments. Leave in the comments. Wreck-It Ralph is a good movie, so Evan can know.
I'm gonna find out.
We're gonna see it. So Evan hasn't seen it. I get to show Evan a movie.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
And it's a Disney CG animation.
Very excited.
So I'm putting you on this time.
Very excited.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Thank you for listening, everybody, and have a good night. Kiss your loved ones before you go to sleep.
Kiss your loved ones.
And be nice to the people who actually give a shit about you. Okay. If you learned anything from Buffalo 66, you should at least think about that.
And as they said the executive said in Freddy Got Fingered, try your hardest for years on end, and if you don't succeed after that, then kill yourself.